So I spent all night last night, Si, and all this morning working everything out, right? And honestly, mate, I am. Well, you know me, Si. I am useless at tech stuff, right? Useless. So, you mentioned a couple of days ago. I was on the on the live stream, and you said to me, "Oh, Shabby, your microphone seems to go in and out and so forth." So that was the first thing, right? So I thought, well, I bought one of these Blue Yeti microphones, and the pricey mics. Scuba Pete had one. I didn't buy it because Scuba Pete had one, but he always sounds good. Scuba's, yeah. So I turned around and said, "All right, I'll get one of them." So I got it about, I don't know, 8-10 months ago. I saved my Patreon money up, and I bought it with the Patreon money. But I never I just plugged it in, right, Si, and never saw the instructions and so forth. So that was the first thing yesterday. So I thought, right, okay. So I watched it last night, and I went on YouTube, Simon, and I saw this guy say, "How to?" I just wrote in, "How to use Blue Yeti." Right? So he goes through all this about your gain and apparently it's got these 4 different switches, right? And one's for streaming, one's for recording, one's for singing, and one's like if you're in a conference room, you can stick it in the middle and it surrounds. I had it on the completely different one. So when he goes, "This one is your one for streaming and it's perfect for this and that," I went, "Oh, all right, fair enough." And then so I looked at it. Oh yeah, I'm on a completely
So I
different.
was right then. It was a bit off then. I was because I thought
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like that. It sounds a bit off.
So you're completely right with that. And apparently, here's something for you streamers. Did you know that the perfect length between your gob and your microphone is 6 inches? And roughly, if you do that, that's 6 inches. So if you stay about here, it should be working fine. So microphone's working fine. Then I went for my speed test, right? Because I thought, is it the internet that's doing it? Because as people know, I've watched Shabby a long time. It's my internet was it was dodgy then. But we've got like a NASA fueled internet now, if you will. Well, I checked it this morning, my internet speed, and it's 121, which is mega fast, right? So usually a good internet connections between, he said, 70 and 90. So me being that, so I definitely know it wasn't my internet, right? So I checked that. So there's 2 checklists off the fixing the fault live stream. Then what I did was I went in my computer on the StreamYard, and I've noticed that I'm on high definition on it. So I thought maybe if I pull that down a bit, pull that down one, and put it to 720 or whatever, just at HP, maybe that will work better. So it seems to be working all right. So all I can say, Circum, is on my end, I've tried. It's just weird though, when it's like, because we've done all those streams for ages. And we did loads of streams. What all this is about, people in the chat probably going, "What is that fat bloke talking about?" I'm telling you what I'm talking about. Right? What I'm talking about is, when we had Palps on and we did Tub Thumpers, all the chat, what were they saying, Si? The chat was saying something, weren't they, pal?
It was all cackling and bubbling up. And it was all like doing that split-second length sort of thing. And then it happened again. And I thought, oh, well, but that sort of disappeared.
Yeah.
And I noticed on your last one that you did last week, it really was quite bad towards the end what you did with Connor. And it was such a shame that, because that was a really good stream.
Yeah,
the problem is, luckily it was only at the end, but like I said to you, there shouldn't be only at the end.
No, I agree. The thing about it is I can monetize my channel. I've had my channel could be monetized now for about 18 months and I never did it. And the reason for that, and you all know the story, so I'm not going to harp on about it, you know what I mean? I just thought I'm a small enough YouTuber with a really, really nice chat, and this chat supported me, Si, Tez and Matt since the very beginning. So I'm not going to start pulling out super chats, and I don't want all that. If you wanted to help the channel out, you can go on Patreon. StreamYard went to $45 a month. It went pricey. Do you see what I mean? So
yeah,
how it happens, you know, you all my pals, I'll tell you behind the scenes. So what I do is I pay for StreamYard through Patreon. So the people on my Patreon, they help me with the StreamYard and stuff. But so my answer, Si, is you're 100% right. You shouldn't be doing a live stream where the last 10 minutes or the last minute or even 30 seconds in it. So it happened with Palps, then it happened for a couple of minutes with Martin, didn't it, RSI? A little bit. And then I said, well, let's just carry on and see what happens, because the Palps, I felt sorry for Palps that day, because I love Palps to pieces. He's an awesome bloke. And you know, it doesn't really, I know, you know, I've done streaming a long time now, for nearly 5.5, 6 years. But even I'm a person, size. You'll know this. If I get knocked off course, I'm all over the place. I don't know where I'm up to. You know what I mean?
You do get that, you. If anything throws you, that's the end of you.
Yeah, I got this OCD thing, me. It's weird. I can't. It's not. I don't like change. I don't mind change, but I don't like things like surprising me. And I hate one of the things I hate. I mean, chat, you'll probably hate it as well. I hate when I can't put my finger on what the issue is. Do you know what I mean? It's so when that happened and so forth. So anyway, me,
Yeah.
so good old Si, bless him, taking the time out of the weekend, because I don't think I've ever done a live stream on a Saturday ever. And if I have, Si, it's because someone's invited me on their channel on a Saturday. I don't think I've ever done a Saturday live stream.
I don't think so. I think we have. I think we've done. Surely we've done a Saturday night before. I know I've been on people's streams that have been on Saturday and stuff, but
I don't think so, buddy. I was thinking about that myself when I said Saturday, because I'm usually out with the kids and all. But Jen took the kids to Highway 55 today, which is like a burger joint, and the kids wanted to spend some money in Walmart. So I said, "Oh, you just go." So I just ended up on the treadmill and I fixed all this up. So fingers crossed, it works all right tonight. Good old birthday boys here. Me and Si would like to say happy birthday to Win.
yeah,
It's Win's birthday today, but Win says, I'll doubt if I'll be able to watch the stream tonight, Shabbers, as it's my special. Oh, it's a special birthday. It's a special one. All birthdays are special. I'll be at my bro's house having a dinner party, but never fear, I'll watch the replay tomorrow. Well, all the best, Win. Have a lovely night tonight.
birthday,
And we
Win,
wish, happy birthday, pal. Hope you don't mind.
yeah, I do, man. So you watch this, don't go and have a good time. Birthday, you know.
You know, Si, you fix your internet.
Tell you.
You know, you spent 2
time,
days going through all your electrical stuff, and this is what happens. Do you know what I mean? Hiya, Gerard. Nice to see you. Yes, Saturday, sweet. What do you usually do on a Saturday, Si? What do you do?
Well, this weekend I've been painting all the house, all the outside. I've had my brother around, me and Jay, and we've been painting all outside and up ladders. Oh, my back's broken. So if I keep leaning forward, you know why? My back's killing me.
Oh, have you got to that age?
I'm too old for it. Oh, I have. I do a day's work, me. I feel like I've been leathered.
The best time ever, I've told this story before, was when Jim wanted to put this new. So we've got whoever's seen my house around it, we've got massive land and all that sort of stuff. But in the front, we didn't have a walkway through that goes to we've got a deck that goes up to get into our house. And I found these pavement stones that were dug underneath. They must have been there for years. And I said to Jen, instead of going out and buying new pavements and so forth, I'll dig these up and see how many there are, and we'll build our own walkway. Do you see what I mean? And we wanted to do at the side of the house. We wanted to do this garden thing. So anyway, she's on board. I've dug up all these things. We got a tractor out. The farmer next door came with his tractor and pulled out all the soil for us so I can grab it all. She sat down with about 2 minutes. She was like, "I'm too old for this shit."
Yeah, no, but your garden's not British gardens, are they?
Gilster.
It's like a park.
Yeah, it is. It's massive. Yeah, it's funny, side, because we played in our mum's back garden when we were kids. And there's that picture you sent, because I couldn't really remember having Action Man, and you sent me that picture in the back garden with an I Shot JR t-shirt on, and it's full of action. But that was the thing. When I came here, I walk my dogs. Like I say, I walk my dogs, and I've got such a huge land where we're surrounded by about 175 acres. There's lakes here, there's forest. You'd love it if you ever came to visit. But when I walk my dogs, I always turn around and say, I'd have loved this as a kid. I'd have loved this. I would have been out at 9 o'clock with my brothers and my mates, and I wouldn't be back till dark. Do you know what I mean? The snakes and coyotes might put me off. I might come home if I saw one of them.
Even at the age me, I'd have to build like BMX ramps and also skate park, all sorts in your garden.
It's just weird, but it's like I've got a big deck on the other side, so outside on going that way through. And there's a big deck, and I want to put I was telling Scuba I wanted to put a gazebo out there and all that sort of stuff, and set it all up. And I said to the kids, why don't you come out and help clean it up? And no, not interested. Weird size, not interested at all. Hi, Gils, Dwyer Martin. Hi, Kieran. Hi, John. Oh, nice to see you. Oh, thanks. Got nearly 40 people in already. That's lovely of you all. Like I say, it's just a standard night tonight. I'm going to talk about the few things I wanted to talk about yesterday. I've got a part 2, Si. A part 2 of my rant from yesterday, but I'm not going to rant. And then you've got a couple of things to show as well, haven't you, Si?
Yeah.
Hi, Des. Hi, you are, Des. I hope tonight's live stream is better than the one from last night. All those old women moaning and complaining.
Well, I thought the same, Kieran. I was like, oh my God, listen to this one.
Oh, no. Brilliant.
I did.
Sorry about my dog. The Amazon's my dog hates the Amazon fella. Hates him. And I won't mind. I've got 2 dogs. The other one's all right, but the other one goes mental. But I'm like, you try and talk to your dog, don't you? And I'm like, you see him every day. It's the same bloke, it's the same car every day for the past 3 years you've been here. And he just goes mental side when he sees him, hates him.
These jobs, aren't they? Doing the jobs.
Hey, James. Nice to see you. Good old James is here. Remember,
James.
if you're joining this stream, please press the like button. Thank you very much, Arda. Yeah, it's nice things like that. It's nice. I'll say it from my point of view. I don't say things like, oh, it's great for the show and I can get bigger. It's nice when I look back at it. You know, when you finish your stream, I always look at the views and look at the likes. And, you know, when you get 40, 50 likes on a thing, it's dead nice. It makes you feel good, that. So I appreciate that, Des. Cheers. Thanks, everybody. Just felt compelled to pop along and say hello, everyone. Hello. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Keith, evening, Shabby. How you are, Keith? Me and Keith were doing Playmobil Part 2 site Wednesday, September the 3rd. So I
looked at them pictures where Des T and the Des T's went round to Keith's, and I tell you, it'd be nice to dive into some more of this Playmobil little set he's building.
Well,
it's looking great, isn't it, really?
Well, if you watch the first one that me and Si did with our Keith, we watched it's on my thing. It's called Keith's Playmobil story, and it's brilliant. He did really. You wait, honest. I've got some pictures of, and even our Des and Zoe and Mrs. T went round, didn't they? And they all sent me pictures and videos. Wait till you see the difference. Because at the end of the first one, we were showing, you know what I mean? There was things in there, but it was sparse and not done. Wait till you see the difference. It looks absolutely fantastic. So it's definitely worth watching that one. Hey, Stu, nice to see you, buddy. I heard Stu's thing. Where did Stu go today? He went somewhere, didn't he? And I don't think they enjoyed it as much. Him and Georgie went.
No, I've not been in the chat or anything all day today because I've been paying non-stop.
Georgie put this thing out. Oh yeah, this much for this, and it was crap for that. And it was sold out for this, and I just thought, oh, you had a good time then. Reminds me of Rodney and what is it, Delboy, when they came in and he goes, oh, raining out, is it? Remember they were piss wet through. Oh, I'll still do that now. You know what I mean? If it's pouring down and someone comes in, oh, raining, is it? You have a good time then. Oh, so Stu thinks nobody in the chat is a gentleman, does he not? Wow, okay, that's a bit harsh, that, you know. Hope you and George have recovered. Yeah, we'll have to hear about the stories about that. You are a distinguished gentleman.
Well, we've got a link open later. Come on, Stu, come and tell your big brothers what's happened.
Yeah. We're going to do a link open later on if anyone wants to come in about 20 minutes or so. The reason for that is because this is what I mean. We're testing, make sure everything's all right, make sure everything works and so forth. So get other people in, and we'll go from there. Going out on a limb to say no faults will be fixed by the end of it. I think it's working all right. It seems to be working now. But that's another issue, Connor, is because when you're on here on live streams like this, it's not until people say something, because it's always flawless actually when you're actually in the live stream. And I knew it wasn't my internet, because when my internet goes, it usually goes dead pixelated, or it starts to stutter, or you go off, and it's never happened with me. So I thought, what's going on? So I think, Si, it must have been a link between StreamYard and YouTube. And if it is, like I said, I won't be happy with that when you pay all this money a month. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's right. Hit that like button, you muppets. Thanks, Kieran. It's actually lovely after all my moaning. Hiya, Kat. Nice to see you, Catherine. Oh, this is awesome. Everybody's come to see us. This is great. Shall we pull Shabby's legs? Shall we pull Shabby's leg and say, no, don't do that tonight, because that's another thing that you know, because I said that to Si. I'll be honest to you right now. I'll decide to make sure Claire watches this, because I don't trust any of these bastards in here. You know? You'll be sat there going, oh, it's not working, Shabby, it's not working. Oh, look at that fat idiot on the thing. Oh, do you know what I mean? So I said to Claire, make sure, you know. Me and the dog napped on it earlier, Jono. Nice. Shabby, don't just update the firmware for the Yeti. Make the mic's capsule super. Shabby, don't just update the firmware for the Yeti. Makes the mic capsule super oversensitive. Yeah, I didn't update the actual firmware. I've already got that on. So what I did was I unplugged it, plugged it back in, so it acknowledged it. Then I just moved the buttons on the thing, so I made sure my setting was on the right microphone for streaming, made sure my gain was the right tone, and make sure the volume was good. But really the volume on it is only through your headphones, Si. So because I thought maybe I come off dead loud or dead small, but it's the volume that you set it for is on StreamYard but not on the Yeti. So I think I sorted that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, but usually you usually at toy fairs and stuff, aren't you, on a Saturday?
Well, yeah, when they're on. When they come up, I go to them, yeah, but that's always
Yeah.
seems to be a Saturday. But to be fair, the NC one's always on a Sunday, one I always go to.
It's strange for me being in because I'm usually out on a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? I usually take the kids out and so I mean they all still went out, but I didn't do it today, which is strange for me doing this on a Saturday. Does that mean PGMS had an update? It made him super sensitive. Hiya, Dario. Nice to see you. Hiya, Nate. Good morning, buddy. All modern men are super sensitive, Stu. Would you? I don't think I'm super. I don't think I'm super sensitive. Well, I don't know.
I am. As I've got older, I am.
Yeah, I know
The more
Marty was
older,
saying
the worse I get. I remember watching the Penguin show, and I'm watching the Penguin, and you know my love for DC and Batman, and I'm watching the Penguin, and everything's great and everything's brilliant. Then it gets to the very, very end, and it's him and his mum, and he's dancing with his partner and stuff, and he's got the original Penguin first drawn outfit on, and then you see the top hat and cane, and then when it pulls out and that Batman logo comes on, I cried like a baby.
Did you?
It's so brilliant. This.
I have to admit that side though because I loved it, and I'm not a DC fan like you are, so I can imagine if you're a diehard DC like yourself, I can see that side. Do you know what I mean?
I will say it's things that have always been with me. As I've got older, I have got more sensitive with it. I have.
Yeah, Marty was saying before he cries at when we had him on, he said he cries at everything, and I'm like, dear. And then I thought, well, sometimes you'll hear a piece of music or something, and something will tear you up, won't it? When you
It's human, it's a natural reaction. I think you're not human if you don't. Do you know what I mean? No. But as I've got older, I've got really bad.
I've toned down, I've calmed down a lot, and I don't know whether it's an age thing or me having an autistic child, because ever since Kobe came along, and because I was never short tempered, but I was bad tempered, and I haven't been bad tempered for years. Do you know what I mean? And I think it just got knocked out of me because, things if your kids did something wrong or said something wrong, you bloody hell, what's going on? But with Kobe, you can't do that. And so it's really taught me how to hold back, how to think, and how to. So in a way, I'm very, very proud to have a child like that because it's helped me out big time. I don't just lose my rag over stupid stuff, except for Mattel creations and stuff.
Except for He-Man.
Except for stuff like that. Mrs. T just checked the internet and it's 222. I have no idea what that means. Didn't help on last night's football game. I watched it.
Paul Dirts, do you see it all going up, messing up for me? I hate it when it does.
He didn't miss much. It's only Liverpool. Watch it on Monday. Everton Leeds on Monday. But I'm at a school do on Monday, so I can only watch the second half.
Yeah, well, this is. I'm glad you just brought this up because I was quite confused about this. This is where I thought, do I trust my twin brother or not? He phoned me up over the weekend. Right, listen. Is there any chance we can move Tub Thumpers back to a Wednesday because I've got this school thing on with Lucy? And I've gone, yeah, of course it is, pal. I'm not bothered when we do it and stuff. Then the next thing, last night, I come to find out that Everton are playing Leeds on Monday night, the same time we were supposed to be doing the Tub Thumpers. So I think it's about time you explained yourself.
I'm at a school do, and I'll be home for about...
I'll be on for 7:45.
No. It's about 4:15. So I'll miss the first 20-25 minutes or so. But that's it. That's it. But yeah, I'll be there. You'll never know, Si. You'll never know whether I'm telling the truth or not. Question for the gang: how many snowcats did Stu buy to get all this tea? How many did Stu buy? Hello, Gilster. He's driving. Where are you driving to, pal? Careful, Kieran. Consider the audience here. It's funny because there's 40 people here, and I would have thought you'd all be out doing stuff on a Saturday.
Well, Boom Street. We're all too old for Boom Street now, aren't we? Let's be fair.
When was the last time you went up Boom Street? When was the last time you actually went up there?
Oh, God, I can't remember. I don't think I'd last anymore doing it. You like to think you would. Yeah,
can imagine me. I literally would look like somebody's dad in there. Do you know what I mean? It's
telling everybody to go home and telling everybody to stop drinking and.
I went off nightclubs in my 20s. I think once London once I quit London and went to America, I went to a couple of, but they don't really do, well, they do nightclubs in the big major cities, but it's really like a bars they do here with live music and that kind of thing. Not really. So in other words, in towns like mine and whatever, and where G4 is, you're not going to find a nightclub. You're going to find a bar that's, like more like a community kind of bar, all everyone around there goes. So I haven't been in a nightclub. I think the last time me and Jen went to a nightclub was on our anniversary one year when we lived in England, when we went back to England for a bit. And we went to St. Anne's. We went to this posh place in St. Anne's, and the waiter came up to us and said, "Oh, well, actually, because you spent this much money in here, blah blah, you get a free." This is a true story. So you get a free ticket to go to the nightclub upstairs. And I said to Jen, "Shall we go?" And Jen's like, "Mark, you know." And I went, "No, we'll go and work it out anyway." So we go. We bought a couple of drinks in this, like, go boom boom and all this. We sat down. Started watching people coming in. We left after about 10 minutes. They all look like 16 to 18.
There is a time, there does come a time where you think, I feel a proper wazzock here. I'm going to have to go.
Yeah.
There is, isn't there?
There is, definitely. I do. Nice to see. Wow, everybody's turned up. This is awesome. Join Shabby Geek. Well, that's nice. That's lovely of you. And there's a lot of people that have joined it, and a few more people have now. And all I want to say, I never bring it up. I never really go at the end of my videos, "Oh, join, don't forget to join." But I'm not one of those blokes. But for those that do it, and yourself, Si, you really do help it out. It works for me because, as like I said, I get in trouble off YouTube every week, Si. Do you know what I mean?
Still not this big loud. It's gone dead dark in here.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Hey, Wizzy, nice to see you, pal. What type of dogs? I've got 2 big pit bull mixes. I've got 1 pit bull lab, and I've got 1 pit bull. And I don't know the other one. They're nice dogs. They really are. But it's funny because my dogs have bit Andy, Jason O'Toole, G4s. My little dog, I've got 2. One's big. The Labrador pit, she's a big girl, but she's got heart of gold, man. She wouldn't hurt anybody. She'd lick you to death. But she looks mean. Do you know what I mean? She's a brindle as well, so she's got brindle colouring and she's beautiful. But my other dog, it's so bad tempered, it's ridiculous. So yeah, they're the dogs I've got. Hey, Georgie. So are you looking forward to seeing Georgie on Wednesday?
Yeah. Well, best one on Sheets Up Thumpers. So it's only right to get the best one on back, isn't it, really?
So she says she's back home from an interesting trip on London. Listen, Georgie, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I'm gonna do it now. So if you want to come on and tell us about your stories, or you or Stu want to come on, you're more than welcome. Let's copy that, and I'll stick it in. So anyone can come in. It's just me and Si having a chat. So you got no problems at all. There you go, done it. 4-legged ones. I've got 4-legged dogs. Yeah. Yeah, well, that was it. That's what it was called, our Andy. It was called For the Love of Fantasy. That's what it was called today, Si. So,
right. Yeah. What was it, like Labyrinth and Pan's Labyrinth and all that sort of fantasy films?
I think so. I hope one of them comes on, because if they do, they can tell us all about it. Because she wrote this thing today, and it didn't sound like it was as good as what they thought. So, the unboxing video was so entertaining. Great job. No, thank you. And like I said to all you people, because I know the most of you, I know. It was so nice of you all to come in, and it's done really well, that video. For me, it's done really well. And I'm just sorry about the end of it. I do apologize, that it went crackly and so forth. Luckily, he's like I said, our side don't really like to say something after, because I know he thinks he's going to hurt my feelings, but I'd rather him tell me. I'd rather when Si comes on and says, "Oh, it's not working much, this Shabby," at the end of it. So fingers crossed this one will work tonight. I've got a big deck, and it's never happened to me. Shabby's close 2025. To just evening all, just got back from work, first week being back off, and I'm top of the fleet again. Get in,
top of the fleet, top of the Starfleet.
Starfleet. Could you drive a bus, RSI?
I'd love to.
Would you?
I would love to, yeah. I'd love to spend the day being a bus driver. I'd love it. Big wheel like that. Oh, come on, love. It's that fast. Come on, get on. I'll let you on before half-time. I'd love to, yeah.
Come on, love, get on. Would you be one of those type bastard bus drivers?
Yeah, every 2 minutes. You smoking on back of my bus? Get off me bus. I'll be one.
No, when you see someone running at the bus stop, would you slow down and then race?
I'd slow down, but then carry on. Like all bus drivers do.
Yeah.
Like how Terry's become accustomed to. I'd slow down first with the old dears.
Has he?
Then I'll drive off. Yeah.
Do you think our Terry's done that side? Do you think he's?
Of course he has. All bus drivers do it. It's their own little sinister, like dark side they have, isn't it? Little laugh they have.
I'm not super sensitive, just paranoid. Yeah. Sometimes you do get paranoid, especially when you do stuff like this, because you're like, do people like me? Do I'm a knobhead? No, like you see a dislike, or you're like, who's that? Who's dislike? Who is it? Do you know what I mean?
People like me.
Yeah. Get over the sensitivity, says our George, and think of people on fire instead of naked. Oh, absolutely brilliant. So what happened? What happened today?
Oh, hello, lads. All right.
Hiya, pal.
It was a bit of a disaster from like start to finish, really. So we saw that they were doing this this thing for the love of fantasy, and Charlie Cox was there, the guy who plays Daredevil, and I was like, wow, right, I really like Charlie Cox. I like him as Daredevil. You know, wouldn't mind going to get his autograph and his
that's a good one. That's a good one to get. He's a main character, isn't he? So,
So we left it a little bit late though to book things. So on Thursday, I was like, crikey, we're going to be going this weekend. I better book some like tickets. So we had the tickets to go, but we didn't have any tickets for like, his autograph or his photograph. So the autographs are sold out, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, no worries. Well, we'll still get a photo opportunity. So they did it in 4 sections. So I went for the first section, which was from like 9 o'clock onwards, like early in the morning. So I've done that. I've got an email through saying, thank you very much for your purchase. So I was like, brilliant. But there was no QR code. There was no ticket. So I was like, oh, for crying out loud. So then I think it come to Friday. And I said to Georgie, yeah, I don't think we're going to go tomorrow. I said, they've not sent me through the ticket or anything like that. So she said, well, we'll sort it out when we get home. So I sort of like thought, no, sod it. We're not going to go. I'm not going to go. So then I'm sitting in bed. And Georgie's saying, oh, but did you do this? I said, look, no. I said, we haven't got a ticket. We haven't got a QR code. I was like, look, every time I do this, it's not working. It's not working. Oh, it's working.
You're losing your temper. You're there. He's like, I'd be like, what's going on?
I was like, she's not listening to me, for the love of God. Right. So I was like, it's not working. It's not working. Oh. And then it went through and it worked. And I said, oh, we're going now. So anyway, we thought, well, there's no point getting up there super early. So we went up about 10:30, got the train.
Whereabouts was it, Stu? Sorry, where was it?
Excel Centre, London.
Excel, right, okay.
Excel. So we got on the train and it was like all packed and stuff like that. So there's no sitting down. So we're standing there. Brilliant. So anyway, we get there and then we queue up, we get in and we go straight to his autograph. So we think, well, we might get a chance of getting an autograph. So we're standing there waiting and they say, come back at I think it was 2:30. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever time it was. So we buggered off, went and had something to eat. And then it was expensive. So we had something to eat and then we went and got 2 donuts, 12 quid for 2 donuts. Right, so, yeah. Yeah. 12 quid. So then we went and got a bit of artwork, went and stood in the queue again for his autograph, right? And this woman, she was like real gobby Northern. Not saying that Northerners are gobby, because I know you two are Northern as well, but she was giving it the large one. Like,
no, you were right. You were right the first time. One of those gobby Northerners. You were right the first time.
Anyway, Steve, thanks for coming.
Yeah, cheers. Right, anyway, that's my story. I'm off. But yeah, so she was saying, oh, like if you're this number, come back. If you haven't got a ticket, come here and get it. So we got a ticket. We got like a raffle ticket. And ours was, I think, 273. So she said, come back at about 3:30. For God's sake. So we buggered off again. And by that time, we were just getting pushed from pillar to post. And I was getting like tired and cranky. And to be honest with you, there wasn't much there. It was
so what actually was it? Was it like, so it wasn't like a toy convention? It was like a fantasy convention.
It wasn't. It was like you had all the people from Lord of the Rings there. You had all the people from all these other TV series that I weren't too sure what they were, because I don't really watch that much TV these days. Yeah. But the only person we wanted to see was Charlie Cox. Anyway, so we go back again to this queue for an autograph. And Georgie had said previously, we didn't buy a prepaid ticket. Can we still queue up? And this guy said, yes, you can. So that's why we went back and waited and we got a ticket. And then they said, come back at 3:30. So we went back. I went then down to the ladies at the front, the stewards, and said, right, is it cash or do you pay by card? And she said, card only. So I thought, fantastic, brilliant. Okay, we'll use our card and get his autograph. So we were 273. They called up to 270 and said, anybody after 270, you need to come back. And was like, no. So then we went off and stood in the queue for the photograph. And our photograph session was at 5 o'clock in the evening or the afternoon, 5 o'clock. So we've been there all that time and done absolutely cool. Right. So we're in the queue and this lady says, right, if you're here for Charlie Cox, can you stand along this line here? So we did. So there's a queue of us starting to wait for Charlie Cox. 10 minutes later, this other lady come here and said, "Are you for Daniel or whatever his name is?" We said, "No, we're for Charlie Cox." "Oh, you shouldn't be here. You should be over here." And I was like, "Hang on a minute. We were just told by someone else to stand here." And she said, "Who said that?" I said, "Well, I don't know. It was someone else." And she goes, "Well, sorry, but you've got to move over here." So we had to move again. And by this time, I'm starting to get a little bit,
that would annoy
a little bit like pissed off. So in the end, we queue up, and I said to the guy, I said, "Right, I've got the ticket. It's an e-ticket. There's no QR code. Will we be able to get seen? Is this okay?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Right." I said, "I'm taking your word for that because everybody else is getting their QR code scanned. We don't have one. Are you sure?" And he goes, "Yes." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Because I said, "I'll cry if it's not okay." So we go up, right? We start to go into the line to queue up again. It's this second line, and the lady gets the QR thing, and she goes, "Where's your QR code?" I said, "We don't have a QR code. This is what you sent me." "Oh, you've got to go and speak to that lady right over there." And I was like, "Where?" "Over there." I was like, "Oh, for crying out loud." So then we had to move from that queue to go over to speak to someone else. Right? She said, "Wait a minute, I've got to sort all these people out." So she was like,
"Yeah,
now." So we got our photograph taken in the end. This time it's about 5:30, right? Bearing in mind we got there for about 12 o'clock, and we hadn't really done anything. So then we go back to get his autograph, and she says, "Right, we're up to calling people up to 300." So I was like, "Oh, brilliant! I'm 273." She goes, "Great." And so I called George around. We went to go in. "Where's your QR code?" I said, "Right, we don't have a QR code for this." But we were told that we can come along. And she goes, "No, it's prepaid only." But we've been told we can come here and queue up and get a QR code, not a QR code, a ticket, and we can get an autograph.
So hang on, so I get this clear, Stu. You had to pay for his autograph before you get his autograph.
Yeah. But even though we asked, "Is it okay?" earlier in the day, they said yes. And I was like, and Georgie's like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up." And I just said, "No, we go home. We go home." So then we went home. We got on the tube on the way back, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. It was like sardines, and we're like,
football as well, son, isn't it? So
I had another convention up there as well. It was just mental. So I thought, no, okay. So we got off at London Bridge. I thought it's only that half an hour walk later back to Waterloo Station. It was just an absolute shocking day, and it was poorly organised, and it's Monopoly event. Yeah, shite. Right. So I know DTM Dave can testify for that as well. They're absolutely horrendous. So we just wasted a whole day basically just for like a picture of Charlie Cox. And that was it. I would absolutely.
You think you just, with the first place you get to, you think that would be the one that said, "Right, this is what you've got to do. For this, that, and for that. Yeah. You've got to do that for that. Stand in that queue, you'll be seen at 5 o'clock." Instead of just pissing about.
Exactly. Yeah. If they had told us straight away that no, it's a prepaid, you can't get seen, or there might be an opportunity that you won't get seen, we wouldn't have stood there for 3 and a bit hours waiting to get seen, to get told to go away, then come back, go away, come back, go away, come back. So that really sort of like cheesed me off. And then while we were waiting at the bus stop, because the Docklands Light Railway also wasn't working from Canning Town, so we had to catch a replacement, like a bus. They put on a bus service for us. Well, that was an absolute ball ache. You ask the person at the bus station, "Where's the bus link to XL?" "Oh yeah, just down there." "Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much." Right, no help at all. So we get there, and there's like a group of people, and this lady comes along, and she starts handing out these leaflets saying, "Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you." Georgie just looked at me and told me to shut up. I hadn't even said anything then. I was like,
"Don't say anything.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything." So
how much was the due then? How much were the tickets to get in this place?
It's about 60 quid for us to get in for the two of us, and then it was another 80 quid for the autograph, not the autograph, for the photograph, and then it would have been another 80 quid on top of that for the autograph as well.
Wow. So you're not going next year?
No. It should have been called "For the Love of God," not "For the Love of Fantasy." Honestly, it was
God.
So normally when we go to these things, we get up there like for about 9 o'clock in the morning when it opens up. I am so glad we opted not to get up there for 9 o'clock in the morning. And I tell you now, that sort of thing really does put me off going to these conventions because I'm not very good with big crowds. It's even worse when I'm in a pissed off mood. It's even worse when I'm angry, or not angry, hungry, because that just makes things even worse. I get very ratty. And then poor Georgie's just being dragged around.
Can you imagine Georgie lads like that? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Still probably red hot as well today, though, hasn't it? Weather's done the well.
Yeah.
Red hot, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make you feel better because we were talking before about nightclubs, and our friend Adam says I went to a night. I went out for a night out 3 weeks ago, and I felt very old. It was a bar too. Yes. Nightclubs have closed all over. 15 years ago, the UK had 300 nightclubs. Now there is 3,000. Now there is less than 600. So tell us about your night out to this. Why did you feel so old?
First and foremost, I'm very distressed to hear Georgie had such a crap day. In terms of Stuart, I think it's bloody hilarious guy. But no, no, what was it? Nightclubs. Sorry, not nightclubs. My night out. Yeah, I went out three weeks ago. Right, I went to a local bar, and it was just. I looked around and I had a few drinks, and I just thought, no, I'm getting too old for this. Like, honestly, there was like people in basically nappies in there. Like, honestly, it was.
It's weird we're saying that as well because look at Des tonight. It looks like he's dressed for a rave.
Yeah. I've come to fix your problems. I've got my holidays on.
I thought you were going raving now, Des.
Them days are long gone.
I mean, though, Des. So, in other words, right? So, say for example, we're all out for a beer tonight, and we also should go to a nightclub. How many of us are going to say yes? I don't think any of us.
No,
I think we're going to go.
I actually would. If I'd had a few drinks, I would totally go to one. It wouldn't bother me. It just depends on where, because in October I went on stag do to Brighton, and I didn't know no one except the groom. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a hard work because you don't know anybody. They were quite a close-knit bunch. And I was kind of I was basically the outsider. So I just thought, oh, sod it. I ended up in a nightclub till 5 a.m. with 2 women. So I had a good time. So but
when you look like you look like you're still in your 30s. You're not nowhere near the age you are. I suppose you know what I mean. I'd take that for advantage. You know what I mean? If I look like Rob's rich, I'd be out every week.
It's difficult though because you feel like you start chatting to people, and I was chatting to one girl on this particular night, and she was going, "Oh, I'm getting old now," and she was like 31. And complaining about it, and I just thought, oh, you have no idea. So,
Stu, Jason wants to know: was it anything like MCM, or was it half empty? Was it a packed place, Stu, today?
Yeah, it was fairly busy. Not as busy as MCM, but it was busy because it was just in one hall. But yeah, it's just and people are absolute effing idiots, to be honest with you. They can't say excuse me or would you mind moving. They just head for you and walk straight at you. They're like kamikazes. They just aim straight at you and then barge you out the way with their bags and stuff like that. You just £6 for a donut.
Well, you've got a few there. Was it handmade by Pixie, says Kat, and then George Aiken says 12 quid for a couple of donuts. You are a donut.
Yeah, they were nice. They were nice, but
I'm expecting it to be made by Gordon. 6 quid for a donut. That's
that is.
I thought Krispy Kreme would do.
Yeah, no, this was they were nice, but yeah.
That is a rip-off because I used to think the ones that, like, obviously when I go and see Spurs play, they have these really nice, like, kind of artisan donuts, and they're, I think, £3.50, and I thought that was a lot, but 6 quid is outrageous. Like,
yeah, they've just kicked off at the new Everton ground. The donuts there are £9 for a donut at Everton's.
Whoa, no way.
No, expensive.
Wow.
Did you get PGM's autograph, Stu? Says
to be fair, I was surprised I didn't see him there, actually, if I'm honest. They had everybody else, so maybe he didn't get the invite.
And Kieran goes, was it a ring donut made by Charlie? Made by Charlie Cox. Me, Cat, I won't pay 4 quid for a donut, and I sure wouldn't pay 6 quid. Look at Jason; he's not. Over here, you can get 13 sugared or chocolate donuts at Walmart in a big long thing for under $3. I think it's $3.29 with tax, so you can get.
Yeah, but if you if you went to Tesco's here, you'd probably get 10 donuts for a couple of quid. But it's just. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Everything's so expensive when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sound like one of them grumpy old men, but it is so expensive. Everywhere you go, you tend to think, Jesus, really? Like,
Well, they
just
did
put it down
actually
to
have a
when you're in a
sign on there saying
convention.
they're expensive donuts. They did have a sign saying they're
Yeah.
expensive donuts. And they said a Ferrari's expensive as well, but it's very good. And I was like, oh, okay, that's all right. We'll buy one then.
Oh, Holly Chronicles alumni's here. Good old Geloni and Saber. Hi, Shabby. Great to see you guys on. Yeah, it's funny that I suppose because I never, like me and Si were talking about before, I don't stream on a Saturday. You don't stream on a Saturday either, do you, Stu? Really? We're not really.
No.
We're
no.
not Saturday streamers,
I'm
are we?
recording, but I'm not even doing that at the moment.
No,
So,
it's.
You did one a couple of weeks ago, though, Stu, didn't you, about the HasLabs?
Oh, the
Saturday
HasLab
night.
one.
That what? Oh yeah. Don't go down that road again. Bloody HasLabs. Yeah.
Look at Mr. Cutsy, fuck me. This is a lot.
Why, Stu, are you twisted? Do you not know what to do, Stu? Are you considering backing it now? Are you like a bit and ahhing?
No.
I'm
I'm not at all. No. I like it, but I'm not going to pay that money for that.
Well, the part
Oh,
two
you
for mine,
don't.
yes.
You got to get it.
Sorry, say again, sorry?
So you're going to pick up the HasLab, the gunship.
No.
Too dear in it for what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this was a story for me, and it's about 50 off, which is the fright zone. So, as I told the story yesterday, I'm a member of the Castle, the Grey Scub members on Mattel Creations. So the day before this was available to everybody, the day before we could book it. So it came out at 12 o'clock Eastern time, and I booked it dead on 12 o'clock Eastern. Then it all sold out, and it was all over YouTube. Oh no, it's sold out, whatever. And I was like, yes, at least so the subscription payment paid off for it. But yesterday, like I said, I got a thing that was still processing. Well, today I got this. So it says, hello. The item below is on back order. So now I don't get that, even though I paid for it the day before everybody else through the membership and so forth, till the 12th of September. And everybody else has got it. What? And honestly,
that is outrageous. And you're a member.
It just really,
You're still getting it though. That's the thing there. You know, I'd be a bit like Myth, where he's thinking, oh well, I should have been one of the first being in a special club, but I wouldn't be that too bothered because the 12th of September is only 3-4 weeks away. I wouldn't be bothered at that.
It did annoy me, but you're right. I mean, at least I got the problem was it was yesterday morning. They put this thing out, lads, and they said you have to let us know if you still want it by August the 3rd. Well, yesterday was the 15th. And I'm like, you didn't send me an email. You didn't put anything out on social media. So I pressed and it was processing, and then eventually I got it like that. Connor says, I'm waiting for I left the photo.
That's what I thought was going to say.
That would have been icing on the cake.
God. Yeah, can you imagine
that? Maybe icing on the donut.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to say.
So the next time, Georgie, listen to your husband when you're in bed together. You don't need to say, you don't need your high vis when you're working at home, Des. No, thanks, Des. Des is here to fix it all and all that sort of stuff.
I wouldn't have a clue. And
so you're not tech savvy like me. Are any of you boys tech savvy? Are any of you like I mean, I can change a light bulb, I can fix lamps in and stuff, but I'm talking about like computer tech and this tech and phones.
I know a bit about computers.
Well, compared to you, Shabby, yes.
He thinks opening the doors tech savvy.
Honestly, mate, I'm absolutely useless. It's like the only reason I got my phone with actual date. I've had a phone, but I usually keep it, and all this sort of stuff. And then with Joe Fest, not the one just gone the year before. And Leslie goes, Shabby, just give me a number so I can grab hold of you when lunch and all that, and we're getting together. And I was like, I don't have a number. I never even.
Yeah, but you're looking your asshole because Suki's pretty clued up with all that. I've seen her all her set up and everything. It looks like she's got war games set up in her bedroom. It's like she's got.
What do you mean you don't have a number, Shabby?
I do now, like a phone number for you to get hold of me, because we had the landline in, and I always had. Well, the thing about it is, we had that crap in. Well, no, I mean, Des will blooming tell you, we had it for years, and it was always dodgy, mind. Do you know what I mean? Pixelated and this and that, and then we got it fixed and sorted, and then we had the opportunity. It's called AT&T. It's like Verizon and Orange. If Orange is still going and whatever.
Yeah.
So Jen got me. Jen actually got me. I didn't get it. Jen just went there's a phone with her. So now I've got two phones, but for some reason I still always use my old one. It's like Si always pulls out posh phones with LED. Screens on the front and all that. And I've always been one of those people. I don't know why people spend an absolute fortune on phones. I don't get it. Do you know what I mean?
What have you got? An old Nokia?
No, it's a Motorola.
Only got a 3310.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Pull the aerial out.
Play Snake on it, Stu.
yeah. I always have that issue with toilet paper. Always. No, seriously, my wife will go mad. I'll go mad if she'll spend like £5 or £6 on toilet roll. I'm like, why? For wiping out your arse with. Yeah. So I always get like the Dollar Tree version of stuff like. Don't matter to me.
That's like Tracy paper toilet paper.
Yeah, some of it can be a bit harsh.
Yeah,
sometimes I get lucky. Oh, no, sometimes I get lucky.
I thought going to say, I'll just get $1 and use $1.
I've got all those leaves. I've got all those duck leaves outside. I'm fine. You know what I mean? It's like, but no, I don't. I'm weird in that sort of little things like that. You know, like why would you spend a fortune on toilet roll? It's for wiping.
Because you don't want it splitting when you're wiping, do you? You know what I mean?
Exactly. You need a quality toilet paper, Mark. Nice and soft. If anything, sometimes you add a bit of moisture to it, moisturiser, don't you, and stuff. That sort of stuff.
Quilted ones that are nice.
£5 for 2 rolls. That sort.
Yeah. Hang on. What's this about moisturiser on toilet roll? What do you wipe your ass with?
You put nice moisturiser. Don't need some toilet rolls.
Yeah, aloe vera, whatever it's called.
Bit of sandpaper, that'll do.
Is it essential oils?
Paper sounds like Shabby's toilet paper now that you get some bloody.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's having 4 kids and stuff like that. You've got to. I'm always one to like. Hang on a minute. Why? It's like people go mad about. It's like my kids will go mad when I buy knockoff Coke. And I like food. Well, I'm like, I grew up on that shit. Do you know what I mean? The pop lady. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why I don't buy it any longer.
But sometimes I think it tastes better, to tell you the truth.
Oh my God, that stuff, it turns you into Iron Man.
or here's another one, or ketchup. You know, you'll spend $3.20 on Heinz, or you'll get Food Lions one. It's like 99 cents.
It's always got to be Heinz, though, I think.
I don't know.
That's their own brand.
Just a working class lad, I suppose. I'm never like, oh, we have to get Hellman's. You know, I don't care. You know,
it makes me laugh how I'm a cheapskate when it comes to things like that. But you sort of buying this stuff, it's sort of like, I won't say money no object, but you know what I mean?
I'll say all that. I'm like, I've just spent $300 on a snake leg.
That's cool. Priorities.
Well, that's true. That is true. Yeah,
it is weird though the way we all do it. Yeah, exactly right. Because Si, like you said, Si swore blind that Stu's definitely going to get that lap, but it's not looking good, is it? It's not even over 35 yet. So, do you think it's going to have a big thing at the end, boys? Do you think it's just going to go boom like that?
I would be surprised if it doesn't back. No, I'm not going to back it. I barely buy any Star Wars these days. But if anything, I'm thinking about selling a lot of mine. But I think, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to say a stupid thing like Stuart a couple of years ago. But I think it probably will back. But I think it'd be last minute.
Can I just say to Crazy, he's been in hospital for a while, but he's back now. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're back,
okay, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome, Crazy. It's good to see you back, pal. Sorry, Des. Go on.
I'm going to say, I think it's the those people that I'll only back it if it's going to reach everything.
Yeah,
that might be the difference. You know what I mean? Just to get over the line, compared to if I want everybody. You know, all the stretch goals.
Yeah, but for that amount of money they're charging, you do want everything, because then if you just get the base off, and you're not getting the value for money, are you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. It's not criticism, but I can see people holding back. And if it does get over the line, and then sort of a bit of momentum, it depends when it gets over that line. If it gets over the line, I think that's
the problem for me is the snake layer is the fact that they did that early bird figure, and the last day to get that figure was the 14th. So. I said to Si, it will be a massive jump in the snake, and it was. It went up to like 98%, but it's still not backed yet. And now it's trickling over big time, because a lot of people are saying, well, I was going to back it, but if I don't get that figure, what's the point? Do you see what I mean? Why am I paying the same money as Shabby does, and he gets that? So that's a good thing. So do you think that is a thing then, when you actually see it growing, and then you'll say to yourself, well, actually, I think it will back now with the tiers, so I will back it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to back it one way or the other. You know, it's not an option. I'm just not going down that route. But I think there's a lot of people that do that sort of thing. I'll wait and sit on the fence. There'd be a lot of people that are saying, "Well, I'm waiting for the next paycheck," because when it goes. You know, that money goes out, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I'm not backing it either way.
You're definitely not. So no, I don't. I think a lot of people are doing. I said to Si though, and I genuinely mean it. I think this is the last one for me because it's just you know what I mean. This snake lair. It's just I know Si's laughing, but I think
it's
it is. I think
funny. It's funny. He just said it, doesn't he? Just to like say it. Yeah. I will say one thing about them, and it's not being surplus, but watching your videos, Stu. I watched your video when you did all the HasLabs that you own. And the decline in quality from that cell bar onwards, it's amazing, isn't it? When you look at the detail that went into that cell barge, then the detail that went into that Razor Crest, and the paint job on that thing. And when I looked at this cantina lately, and I've looked at this gunship, I'm like, you are. And then you made a perfect point when you said that gunship is only £50 less than that cell barge. And it just threw it all into perspective, you know. And I think if you are rumming and ahhing about that, watch Universal's Toy Collector's video on that, the decline of them. And it's sort of like, you know, for me, it would make my mind up.
I think that's a good point, Si. But I also think as well, it's a different time, isn't it? Because if the sail barge came out today, it wouldn't be $400 or $500, whatever it was. I don't know the exact price. It would be a lot more, wouldn't it? And that's the thing. I think it was just because it was 5 years ago, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah,
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and stuff like that. So I do think it's hard to compare, but I do kind of agree with what you're saying. I also think I wonder if it costs more to do the tooling and stuff like that. So they've kind of cut corners and stuff like that in that respect.
I keep likening it to the G.I. Joe classified HasLabs, and people say, but you can't compare because it's a scale that we've never had in G.I. Joe before. No, it's not. But you look how much that they're doing those HasLabs for. They're £100 cheaper than the Star Wars TVC ones. We know why. We know they've got to pay a license fee, and that's what it is. It's that license fee that we are paying for on top of the product. So you can guarantee if, like, say, for example, that G.I. Joe was licensed out by Hasbro, someone else owned the rights to G.I. Joe, those HasLabs would also be a lot more expensive to buy, but they're not. So I don't know whether it is the tooling, because surely the tooling for the G.I. Joe HasLabs have got to be roughly about the same pricing as the Star Wars TVC ones.
Yeah, you got a point there, definitely.
Possibly. I could be wrong. I could be talking completely
I don't really know the ins and outs, but what we do know is if you look at their bottom line and also their structure, it's changed so drastically in 5 years. They've got less employees there. They're making less money. So they've got to cut back some ways. So I'm just thinking it's just a natural regression because they're just making cutbacks.
Yeah.
But I don't ask, how's it looking? How's it looking for it? Is it getting backed? Is it getting any wider? Is a lot of people behind it?
I don't know. You see, that's the thing. It's the same as what yesterday. So Jonathan's saying here, will he screw up with your order, messing you with early bird figure? It has considerably slowed down. I don't think it's... See, the snake lair needs to get to 8,000 to get the last figure, but I don't think he's going to do that. You've got 11 days to get $2,500. I mean, 2,500 more backers. So I don't think he's going to do it. So he doesn't mess with my order, because what they do is it's same with King Grayskull. When you order it as an early bird on Mattel Creations, it shows you the figure, and that's got its own order number. Then it shows you the snake lair, and you actually get it different. So when me and Scuba got the Attorney play sets, the actual King Grayskull figure didn't come with that packaging, came on a different packaging. Right. So it's like you get two orders, if you will. So that's how they do it. So it won't really do it, but it depends now. It needs about 95 before I came on the stream tonight, more backers. And I think the only people I'm thinking that might do it now is independent toy companies that will buy a couple of them to stick them in the shop to sell. Do you see what I mean? And do it that way. So we'll see. Totally Taylor's Retro Hunters. Hey, Dean, it's nice to see you, pal. Dean. Lovely to see you. What about the rumor about the classified Arctic Hiss tank? Anybody know about that?
Oh, Arctic Hiss tank.
No, I've not heard that. Not heard that.
We were talking about this on CSR yesterday. And first of all, before I get to that, lovely Connor has put Stu's HasLab video, and it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. Yeah, it's worth it. You do it nice in a way, you know what I mean? It's opinionated, but it's, you know, you're not rubbing people up the wrong way like some people do.
I mean, the thing is, I'm never one of these. I'm not going to be one of these people who say, well, because I'm not backing it, I don't want anybody else to back it. I want it to you know, I want it to fund, you know, but
yeah,
again, I think people are, you know, oh, well, people are swayed by what people say. Well, if they are, they're very silly, aren't they? They're, you know, they're big boys now, aren't they? They can make up their own minds. They don't need people on the internet sort of like begging them to back this, and they don't need people on the internet to tell them not to back it. Do you know what I mean? Make your own minds up for crying out loud, you know.
Yeah.
Connor says 35 backers as of now, with 8,000 set as a base target. You've got to get to 14,000, aren't you, on that HasLab lat to get them all? That's cutting it fine, definitely. But it's like,
do you think the figures have stopped being a sway then? At one point,
I don't know, because I'll give you an example. On the last day of the Snowcat, I was watching it, and in the morning it had backed, but it was only about 500 over the actual backing it needed, and none of the tiers were available. By the end of the night, they got everything, all the tiers. So I think Des made a good point when he said, Des made a good point when he said before. I think a lot of people did what Des said, where they've looked at it and gone, you know what, I'll back it now because it's backed and this and that. And then so they got all the tiers, it all cleared. So and that must have been the last 5-6 hours that it did it. So that was pretty impressive. Jonathan says tooling costs for HasLabs don't matter, as the backers of the project foot the entire cost, not Hasbro.
I don't know if they do though. I kind of see what you're saying, but I don't know if they do. When you think about it, staff are your biggest cost, aren't they? And they, you know, like of any business, staff are your biggest cost. And they've got rid of so many. I'm wondering if they've even got the skills to do as good a job as they were doing 5 years ago. That's my point. I'm not sure they've got the skills there anymore. That's just my point. But it's an interesting point because, you're right. That's the whole concept of the thing. But I'm not sure it works that way.
When you have cutbacks, it's always quality that suffers. It's always the quality that suffers if there's cutbacks or they're trying to skimp on money and stuff like that. Exactly, it's always quality that suffers.
Palp says, just hanging here in the background whilst trying to draw Boba Fett's fire spray. You don't call it a fire spray. Get to France. Have you ever called it the fire spray ever? He's just winding us up.
To quote the great Shab, that's bum crump.
Bum crump. What on a bum crump? What a tulip. Do you know what I mean? HasLab, I'm just taking the hiss. Do you see what he did there?
I see what he did there. Very good.
He sat there typing it, laughing his bollocks off. They'll love this, them lads. They'll love this.
It'd be interesting to see, as a little incentive, if it is struggling like it is, will they say we'll chuck in loose figures as well?
I don't.
What do you think? Do you honestly think, right? All jokes aside, and I'm being genuinely serious. Do you think the price is putting people off?
It's put me off.
No, of course it is.
So that's above all anything, because I know we've talked about the pricing, the tooling, the look of it, the paint of it, and so on. But do you honestly think, first and foremost, it's the price that's put people off? Right.
Yeah.
For me, Mark, we've all got expensive items, every one of us here.
Yes,
we've all got stuff in our collection that we have paid a bit of money for, whether it be stupid, whether we really wanted it. We've got stuff that's very pricey. But for me, it's the value for money for this thing. You can't be just brainwashed and disillusioned by that Star Wars logo and the branding and the box like everybody did with that Ghost. Everybody backed that Ghost. I've not heard any videos from that Ghost ever since. It was like it was here for a week, then the thing just disappeared. And I do generally believe, in my opinion, there was more people disappointed with that Ghost after a while than they were actually, yes, this is the biggest playset they've ever done. I just think that if you're going to, I always agree with what Stu says, these things should be desirable. They should be something so special and something that Star Wars fans have ever wanted. And I think just to go back on old models and make them, 23% bigger, I don't think it justifies a price tag of 500 quid and a special way to buy them. I don't. But that's my opinion. People buy what the hell they want. I'm buying a 5'4" doll.
Do you know how my analytical mind works, right? I would like to know, I'd love to have this data to hand. All the HasLabs, G.I. Joe, Mattel Creations and all that. I'd love to know, right, how many individual people are actually buying these and how many are buying multiples. Because that's what I would really like to know. Because I want to know if there's still the same amount of individuals buying them, and they're only buying one, or they're only buying two instead of buying 4 or 5 or whatever they're allowed to buy. I would say that would be the biggest driver for me as to why something is not getting backed. Because I think historically, people have bought 4 or 5 in order to offset the cost of the original one and then sell them. And I don't think the secondary market is as strong to do that anymore. And I think people are thinking, well, I might get 1 or I might get 2, but I'm not going to buy 4.
You know, that's a good point, because my Facebook marketplace is smothered with HasLab Ghosts. Smothered with them.
Yeah, and I bet they're not 500 quid.
300, 250 to 300. The ones around 250, They've got it all without the figures. But I said that on CSR yesterday. The amount of notice our Stu ghosts. Oh, I'm selling this. Go blah blah blah. No figures. It's like they've bought it just to get the figures, and they'll sell it on. Do you see what I mean? So that's a good point, that Adam. It really.
I would love to know what the breakdown is. I'd love to. Obviously, they're never going to share that with me, but I bet you there's someone who works at Hasbro who does a similar job to what I do with the company I work for, and they will know that information. And they will know how many, like, what's the average is, everybody buys 1.5 Ghost, or everybody buys 2.4 Sal barges, or whatever the multiple is. And it'd be interesting to know if that's dropped on this latest one. I can't even remember what it is. So
Joel says there's a rumor that the classified HIS tank is getting a redone in white, but might not be a HasLab to have an Arctic vehicle to pair with a snowclap with no electrics and no electronics and no tiers. But I always wondered about the canteen. Did any of you on your back the cantina first of all? Right. So let me ask you a question about that. I remember Mike telling us about it, and he watched his video on it and so forth. And there was that two thing, wasn't there? You could either buy one that was like. And then another one that had half a corridor.
The base, then you had the deluxe,
Right. So this is what. So you lads that backed it, which one did you go for, and why did you go for that one?
Went for the deluxe.
You went for the deluxe,
Well, but Georgie backed it. But she chose the deluxe.
I've got the deluxe.
Right. So what's the difference? What? How much more was the deluxe, and what do you get for that
100.
price?
I think it was 100.
Yeah. It was £100 more, and you get the whole of the canteen and not just half of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's like one side. I think you get the bar in both. You get one side and then the entrance. I think it's just like how it sort of returns back down. But on that bit that returns back down, that makes it the deluxe. There's there's that crocodile sort of wall ornament. So there's a few things like that you don't get in the other one. So there's a few.
But he's going to buy like half of it though.
That's what I think. Delvin bought. I think Delvin bought the half of it, didn't he? Did Delvin do it because he said he was going to stick it on his shelf? Or what? I can't remember.
I think I got a view on that because I haven't backed it. Obviously, I don't have the room for that. I don't have even room for a half of one, to be honest. Unless I wanted to get rid of all my micro machines. But what the thing is, I would buy the half of it if I had an issue with space. Also, if you're getting a deluxe, in my head, you're only going to get the deluxe if you can display it all as one. Otherwise, what's the point? Because you might as well just buy half of it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking in my head.
I mean, the thing is with that, it is modular, so you don't have to display it exactly as a whole. You can display it in different sections around your display and stuff like that. Which is
right. So what did you think about that sort of model, though, where they turn around and say you can have that or a deluxe one? Because they're doing it with football shirts, aren't they? Our side was telling me they're doing now stadium shirts as well as replica shirts, and they're like, hang on a minute, do you know what I mean?
They've been doing that quite a while, but that came from America.
Yeah,
so we can blame the Americans for that.
Yeah,
really came from the Americans. So
they'll do it. But did you feel like what is going on now? Is there something? You know what I mean? And did it worry you that they'll do this going further as you do HasLab? So in other words, they might do the Sandcrawler, for example. They might say, well, for an extra £100 you can get this and that. So
I think that's a good idea, really. I suppose you have two options.
Yeah. I think upselling's been a thing forever. When you think about it, even when you used to go to McDonald's, let's be honest, they used to go, do you want it large? Upselling, it's the same thing. It's just an upsell. That's all it is.
Yeah. Very good point.
And that's where they make all their money, because it will cost them very little to do that extra half of the cantina. I'm talking very little. So they probably make massive profit on that little bit, probably make a bigger profit margin on that little bit than the rest of it. And that is why. So they want as many people as possible to convert to a deluxe. I guarantee it.
Would you do it? So, say for example, the next HasLab, for just hypothetically, is a Micro Machines thing, right? And what they've done is they've got old prototypes from the 80s that you and Jesse loved and so forth, and they're making them and they're doing a big thing with it, and it's £300. Would you change your mind then? Because sometimes I think like that way. It's easy for me to sit here going, oh, the HasLab Lat or the G.I. Joe. I don't collect that sort of stuff. But when it came to the Snake Lair, I got it. So would you do the same thing if it was something that was in your wheelhouse?
I completely agree. It would interest me more, and it would definitely tempt me more. For me, I'm a bit of a strange person in that respect. I like how my stuff is displayed. I'm not really like Stu. I don't move my stuff around a lot. Like my stuff stays in the same place, and once I find a home for it, I'm like, I like it there, and that's that. So it would have to fit in if I had a gap in the room, and I'm getting to the point now where you could look around, and obviously I know you can only see a bit of it. You might go, well, there's loads of gaps, but for me there isn't, because there's not a natural gap for me. Like, you know, there's
no, that makes sense.
So it would all come down to the money. It wouldn't come down to money. If I wanted it and I had the space for it, I'd get it. And I really, within reason, wouldn't care about the price. But it would come down to whether there was room and space, basically.
See, that's what I did with the HasLabs, you see, because I took myself out of it knowing I'm not buying them. I don't collect TVC, so I'm not going to. So I just wanted to look at the outlook of it. And I've got to admit, there's not one that's been shit. They've all been beautiful.
I like
one of them. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's what Delvian said before. It's not just the price; it's the principle of it. It's like, when does this end? You know,
the thing is, it's like I've said before. You're paying that amount of money. You expect it to be the best it can possibly be, with no quality issues at all. And I think that's the thing where people are getting really annoyed. I mean, you know, they were saying that the Ghost is going to be the biggest and the most expensive HasLab to date. Well, yeah, it was, but I mean, the quality wasn't there because the paint apps were absolutely, it was awful. There was no weathering at all. It just looked really, really clean. They could have done so much more with that. You know, not saying it's rubbish, but and I think people have kind of been put off by that. Well, hang on a minute, they're expecting us to pay this kind of money. I mean, you look at the Cantina, for example. Again, that's very, very clean considering it's from a desert planet. There's no wash or weathering on it at all, and it just looks too clean. So people say, "Well, you can customize it." No, not when you're paying that amount of money. You shouldn't have to.
See, I know that bothers. I know that bothers some people, and it bothers you, Stu, and it might bother other people. And I've got no problem with that bothering people. It just would not. I would not care. I would not. That would not bother me one bit. Like. It really wouldn't, and I would take that into account before I even ordered it, because I'd be like, right, it doesn't look weathered enough. I'm not going to buy it. Like, if I'm buying it, it's because I want it. I know what I'm going to get and stuff like that. I just don't know. And that's not having to go at anybody who wants it weathered. It just wouldn't bother me.
It sounds to me like the biggest thing, Adam, about this Cantina was the tonic assisters. Every time
that was the big pull.
That's I think quite hard figures to get. Like, well, like I know Stan Solo done them, but they've never been brought out before. I totally get that. But yeah, I do weathering and stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't. For me, it's. I would take that in consideration before I brought it. And if I didn't like the look of it when I went to buy it, then I wouldn't buy it. Like, I wouldn't.
That's the thing is, you don't know. That's the thing, because they don't show. They only show you a digital.
Well, they do show pretty good pictures, and they're not that dissimilar to what you get in the end, is it? It might be 5%.
No, but you don't know that, because they say sometimes they say, right, this could change. You know, you might not.
You've got to base it purely on what you're seeing, because you're getting offered. You're the customer, consumer. You're getting offered a product, and they're saying this is. You've got to base it purely on them photos, and if them photos you're not happy with, then you don't buy it. If you buy it and then moan, well, you saw what it was going to look like. Yeah. You saw what it was going to look like, you know, like at the end of the day. Like, you know.
There's an element of trust there that they're going to do the best job that they can do, and the weathering is going to be right. And obviously sometimes that trust is put in the wrong place, isn't it?
I understand that, yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is if they showed a picture of a perfectly weathered Cantina and then it came through and it was clean, I would totally get where you're coming from. But if they've not shown that, then you know what you're getting.
So that's the point. See, that's why the Rancor did it to me, because when you first saw it, it was a digital rendering. And we were all sat there going, you know, that's the one I was invested in because it was Black Series, you know, and I thought, oh, we'll go for this. And then the next one, they actually made the model, but didn't even paint it. And I'm like, you are cocking this up from the very beginning. You're asking people for all this money, and you're not even. So you are. I think that's what put a lot of people off. What's it going to look like when it's finished? And at the very, very end, they painted one, but I think it was too far gone by then. G4 says, I agree, most collectors would want the weathering, but I'm sure there are collections that don't as well. What do you think about that?
I don't, like I said, for me, it's not even a case that don't want it. It's like I said, I just think I would make the decision based on the photos and the information I had. And that's what I would be like. I can understand where Stuart's coming from. If he had looked at a perfectly weathered item and then it come through clean, that I'm not getting. But if you're looking at pictures and you're basing your decision on that, then that's the way it is. Like, I don't know, then to them, like, and it's not a dig, but then to moan about it when they never suggested, they never showed you they were going to give you a weathered one.
Yeah.
Did they?
That's a good. You know what? You've made a good point there, though. He is right, though, isn't he, Stu? Really, in a way,
they never showed you were going to get a weathered one.
No, they didn't. But if you're paying that amount of money, that should
you're making an assumption. No, you're making an assumption. Why would I be making an assumption? You are, because
when they showed you the photograph, right? It's like the digital renders. They say, like, this is a digital render. Yeah. This is the photograph. It could change. You might not get what you see on the packaging or on the digital render.
That photo, did you like what you saw in that photo? And did it come through? This is what I'm asking because I don't know. Did it come through different to what was on that photo? That's what I'm saying. On that photo, was it?
I don't know. I've not got mine yet. I can't.
Well,
I can't.
That's what happened with the snake glare last year. Last year at San Diego Comic-Con, so they put the pictures out for the snake glare, right? And they showed the pictures of it and so forth. And it did say underneath it, "This is an artist's rendering. It may or may not look like this when it's finished." But on the back of on the back of, if you buy Masters of the Universe, on the back of the cards, it gives you Easter eggs. In the artwork, it shows you what things are going to come, and you can see figures that haven't been made yet that are coming. And the snake glare was in a few of these pictures. When they made it last year, the whole Masters Universe, well, I'd say 80% of them kicked off. That's not it. That's not what we're buying. And they were like, what? And and it was, I mean, don't get me wrong. I said to our side behind the scenes, I loved it. It was massive. I think they were aiming for the Eternity kind of price again, going for the 600 quid and making it as big as possible. But the lads, the Masters lads said, no, this isn't what we wanted. And so that's why it was delayed for a year and came back this year. And it looks more now like a Castle Grayskull Snake Mountain size. So I do understand there is sometimes when you see something and it's not what you expected, that sometimes, but luckily Mattel got in there before, obviously, it all kicked off. Do you know what I mean?
My question,
I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny as well. There's a lot of people that did see those photographs and say, right, this, we hope it's weathered. We hope it's weathered. And a lot of people that are close to people from Hasbro, I said to them, they hope it's weathered. They hope they give it a coat of weathering and stuff like that. So they had plenty of time to do that. And
but what I'm trying to get at is, you were
I know what you're trying to get at.
You were never sold that dream. It was only a hope, weren't it? Like, for example, this is a question to Des and Stu, really. Out of the HasLabs you have got, when you saw the original pictures of them, have they came to you and they've been worse than the original pictures? That's what I would like to know.
I don't think so.
Well, exactly. So then you've got what you paid for.
But I understand Stu's way of thinking of it too. When you're looking at this type of money, you think you go that little bit extra and do things like the weathering and so forth.
You would have thought after the Ghost and all the backlash with the Ghost and the lack of weathering on that Ghost, Hasbro would have thought, okay, right, we'll do that. All the backlash that they've got now with the lack of weathering on that Cantina, look what they've done with the Razor Crest, not the Razor Crest, the LA-AT, the Republic gunship. Chris has already said that they're going to be working towards giving it a coat of weathering and stuff like that and making it back to the quality it should be. But you shouldn't have to have this discussion. The HasLab was labeled as the dream item, something that you're not going to get and something that you're going to want to spend money on, right?
Yeah.
So Barge was definitely it. They hit it out the park with the Barge. No complaints. Everything was perfect with that. The Razor Crest, that come off the back of the success of The Mandalorian. So that's why that sold out or not sold out. It backed within 24 hours. But again, the quality was there to a certain degree. You take panels off and it's just plain. There's no wash to it or anything like that.
I suppose I'll put it this way. Say you went and bought a car. It's a lot of money, ain't it? And it was, a silver car. And it come through and it was grey, right? You've got an argument to say, well, that's not what the colour I brought. But what I'm trying to say is, if you go and buy a silver car and it comes through silver, and then you go, actually, I would liked it a bit grayer. Well, you agreed in that transaction. You agreed to buy a silver car. Like, that's what I'm saying. So whether they promise you or say things, not so much promise you, whether they say things and. That's no hide, no hair, whatever the word is.
Well, they did it with the 3PO on the archives when the 3PO came out. I'm just mentioning what Delvin says. He said, haven't they been doing that with Black Series? Yeah, they have. They made, when the 3PO was shown on the things, it did look like it was metallic. They made it look a bit more like it was shining. When you got it, it was, it's just not chrome vacked at all. And I'll be honest with you, they didn't make it chrome vacked. on the picture, but they made it look like it was shiny. Do you see what I mean?
I think in that respect, as long as you ask the right questions, like for example, let's take the mask items, the reissues of the mask. A lot of the community kicked up because they were like, "Oh, they've not I can't say the word, metalized the rhino and stuff like that." So the original pictures were of grey, and I looked at them. I'd say they're terrible. I would not pay for the grey plastic. It's nowhere near like the originals. It's not as good, blah blah blah.
No, I mean that's what you bought the originals for, was that chrome vac. Do you know what I mean? And so I understand
and then they put new photos out before the pre-orders and said we're gonna vac metalize them. So that's fine because people had time before the pre-orders. They knew what was going to go on, so they've then promised that. So then people could revise. Like I didn't, but I could have gone. Actually, now they're vac metalized. I'll do it. But that's what I'm trying to say. If you know from the off, whether you want something weathered or vac metalized, all these things you're told to a degree what you're going to get, and whether that's it's different if you get something through that isn't what you were sold. But I don't think that's the case. In this case, it's just more like,
he has got a point.
Like Jason said it's a dirty planet. I couldn't care less. If they've shown you that it's a clean building, you're paying for a clean building. End of. You can't expect, if they've shown you that price and they've told you what you're getting, like that is, I don't understand why you'd expect it to be any different.
Just because they show you something, it doesn't mean to say that's not them telling you.
And I agree with that too, because sometimes it will vary when you get it. It will vary.
So, in my opinion, I think Stu's point of view was when you watch his video and you look at his previous HasLabs that he does own, and then he looks and takes a look at a £450 one of today, and that lack of paint job and that lack of weathering, that was enough for a decision to be made, not to buy it and then hope for the best. Is it going to be weathered? Is it not? It's already put him off. He's already said, whoa, for that sort of money, for this sort of thing compared to previous, am I getting true value for money? And I think the problem with weather, I mean, it happened to me. I bought that 40th anniversary Soundwave. I was so looking forward to getting it. And instead of doing the vac metal, he just left it grey. And the thing just looks terrible. Just looks half painted. I'm like, that is the worst 40th anniversary. I knew it was grey. I knew it wasn't
exactly.
I bought it for the sake of Transformers. But again, looking at it, the price that thing was, it's shocking, Adam. Doesn't even come with the stickers. It's absolutely shocking.
But you knew what you were getting.
You know what I mean? But I did know what I was getting.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
But if this was 150 quid, and I've looked at that, I mean, for a start, it's 55, 60 quid. It's what you pay for them sort of Transformers. I was happy with that. But my point is, if they put this out for 170, say, 200, 40th anniversary, this is the beast. This is the one you've been waiting for. And I saw it like that, I'd be like, no chance. Do you know what I mean?
While you're talking, I'm going to pull up the HasLab Cantina and have a look at the pictures, because sometimes what Hasbro do, especially
the other thing is,
it makes them darker, doesn't it? It makes the, you know what I mean? It puts them all. So while you're talking, I'm just going to check.
Can I just reply to JR's comment, because that's interesting, but that's actually a positive. So what I was getting at was, say the mask stuff had been vac metalized and they sold it as that, and you'd put in your pre-orders, then they said, no, we're now going to make it out of plastic.
That's full advertisement. Full advertisement,
That's a different story. But if they do it the other way around, that's a positive thing, because you're going to be like, wicked. But like I said, I just feel, and like I said, it's not a bad thing, but I just feel, if you're, like Si said, he knew what he was buying. He knew it was going to be a great thing. If it had been more than 150 quid, he wouldn't have bought it. Fine.
You see, now these are the actual pictures of it right here, and to me, that just looks plain. Do you know what I mean? You can tell. So you can tell on that picture, but it's like I say, the way that it's all black around it and the way the shadows are all on it, it makes it look a bit more moody, a bit more dirtier. So I suppose looking at this picture, he's not gonna look. Just my opinion. That's not gonna look like what you get. When you get it, it's going to be a lot more lighter in it. It's going to be a lot more. Do you see what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying.
Look the way they've done it. They've made it all moody. So when you look at these pictures here, you see down the archways and all the shadows on it. So, you know.
But it don't look dusty. So if it comes through dusty, then you're going to be happy. But if it comes through like it is in the pictures, then how can you be unhappy? Because you've seen the pictures.
I could be bitching. So I think Stu's got plenty of dust in his house.
We're going to be going round and round in circles here because I'm just going to say exactly the same thing as I said previous time that you said that. So I'm not going to say anything now. So we're just going round in circles.
You've both made really good, valid points, both of you. This is why sometimes I don't open figures, because you'll open one and it doesn't look nowhere near as good as what it did in the box. You're like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed with that and all that sort of stuff. So I understand it. And I think where you're both coming from is the fact that these aren't cheap. These are expensive. So you're looking for ways to get value for money, if you will.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I do agree with that. But people know what they're getting into now. Like I said, I asked Des and Stu if they'd had one through and they'd ever been disappointed. And they said no. So, no argument, really. So,
well, yeah. I mean, spending 500 quid on that Ghost, it should have been a lot better for the money that was spent on it. And I said that in my review of it. And I said that in the previous video that I made as well.
Yeah.
The lads have made some good comments.
But interestingly, Jonathan said a really good, Jonathan, I just read a comment. He said 99% of these purchases are made off of pictures, which I completely agree. But I think you've got to take that into consideration. And if I was I bought them Maverick Top Gun figures off of a picture, remember? And, but I don't, they look fine. I don't really care. I didn't really study them that much. And they were, was 150 quid or something. And I don't know, I just feel like as long as the picture's good, I know that's what I'm going to get. I understand if I got Maverick through and he looked like, I don't know, Mike Brown, I might be a bit disappointed.
Yeah. Hasbro set their standard. They set their standard with the sail barge. Ever since then, that standard has slowly dropped.
They did it with the figures too. I did a thing with the figures when you first got the figures. I remember the Han Solo 2013, hands, 2 guns, 2 belts, and then I showed a sequel one from about 6-7 years afterwards. Nothing like the amount of accessories and everything else you got from the first one. Darren says, I've only ever bought one HasLab, the Ghost. It was fine, but I hoped it would be better. Yeah. And I don't think I'll bother with another one. So he'd seen the pictures, he's bought it, he's got it home, opened it, and it's not what he thought. So
that's the thing. Right. The last comment on that is what it comes down to. Darren won't buy another one, so fine. That's fine. Yeah. He's been burnt. What I'm trying to get at is if people keep on buying them and then moan, that makes no sense to me.
You're right, but because Kieran, I'm going to be honest to you right now, and I don't know what's saying. Desi, I agree with both of you. You've both made real, and Kieran says, well, you've both got valid points. However, I understand Stu's thinking that a toy company should do their best to provide a quality that reflects the price. And sometimes, you're getting them, and you're thinking, well, was that really worth $450?
I build cars for a living, and these are high-end performance sports cars.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
No, but they do. That's the thing. The quality issues. So, and these are like 250 grand cars that we're building.
Had one.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter. The thing is, it doesn't matter whether you're spending 60 quid on an item, 200 quid, 500 quid, 250 grand. You're spending that money. You want it to be the best quality.
I agree.
And the quality issues this day and age are shite.
And it does,
that's not what I'm getting at, though. I'm getting at it was more the wash thing, because you never saw a photo of it muddied up or whatever you want to.
Hang on a minute. As I've said, the standards were set when they did the sail barge. They've not reached those standards since. So that is, in my opinion, telling you something that standards have dropped.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. What I'm trying to say is, though, you're probably you're not backing the ship, are you? Like right? So you're not backing that. So in my head that makes sense, because if you were to back it and then continually moan, that's what I can't understand.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like that's what I can't understand.
Good point. Yeah. Jonathan says, Adam, you have a point. If people have the chance to see these items in hand first, it would be one thing. But 99.9% of the time, you have to go on a pre-order.
That's a very fair point. But what I was trying to say is, if you're happy with the photos, you pay the money. And if you're not happy with the photos, you don't pay the money.
Thing is, with the Cantina as well, they never showed it at San Diego Comic-Con last year, did they?
No, without the shadows and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know whether that was on purpose or just a thing, or
I think it was on purpose, Des, because it's like I said, it's a sand item, and I've just shown those pictures right then. I went back to those pictures deliberately to see, well, look at all the shadows and the way they've done it moody and dark, and it's a dark background behind him. The minute you see that light, it's going to be a lot more lighter. Yeah. It's going to be a lot more cleaner than what you see on the
dark. It holds a lot of detail.
You hit the nail on the head, Arkid. Exactly right. Even Jeeves says here, the top of the cantina is what turned him off. It just looked unfinished to him. So
But interesting, if it comes through and it is as of the pictures, then you've not been shortchanged. But if it comes through and it's actually weathered, you're going to think, oh, we've had a touch. So, you know, sort of thing. So.
He said, Devin says, once it's on my shelf, though, for a few months, it will be.
That's very true.
And Darren says, you can still be disappointed. Nothing wrong with both views. Exactly right. So he's seen the ghost. He loved the ghost. He got the ghost and was like, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't think I weren't disappointed with the ghost. It's but I think Darren put it earlier. It could have been better. That's the sort of
but it could have been better, not just in terms of paint washes, but the fact that you didn't get Sabine and Chopper in with the ghost as well, and they're part of the ghost crew.
Jeeves says, I'm extremely disappointed in the ghost, grass, beer, expendable cash, and bad decisions.
That sounds like a really good title for an autobiography.
Kieran says, Stu's just upset he had to buy another tea bag.
Damn right,
another tea bag.
Damn right.
Hasbro Star Wars was at its peak a few years ago with the Black Series Snow Speeder, and that was the last one. Black Series, that was the last vehicle. And then the TVC Rogue One X-Wing. Yeah, exactly right. But I remember the X-Wing from years ago, Des. Do you remember the one that came with all the Dagobah one, with the ladder and all the weeds on top? That looked awesome, and that was nowhere near this price. Do you know what I mean? So that was what a great vehicle that was. Sometimes pictures don't do it justice. I agree. I 100% agree. You go to a restaurant and see the juicy, succulent-looking burger. It looks nothing like the one that arrives on your plate. How many McDonald's have you had that looks like it?
Yeah. Absolutely right, Phelps.
Hasbro just penny pinch every chance they get, which they're not the only company that does it.
No, I was about to say every company does it.
We've had a kick in the arse of everybody this year. From
we have.
Hasbro to Mattel, everybody's kicks us in the arse. Everybody else.
Our Dave says, difference between Mask and HasLab is that Mask wasn't crowdfunding. The crowdfunded stuff and results depend on demand and develops over time, so you never really know what you're getting. The thing about it, we spoke about this on CSR yesterday, but I would like your lads' opinions, because we're all toy collectors here. When do you think this is going to end, or do you not think it's going to?
I think the moment it keeps getting backed, it will never end. It'll never end.
The more it gets backed,
and then it creates this tremor effect, because they also think, well, if they're willing to pay that sort of money for as little as what we give them, put these figures up $10, $15, put this up 15, put the vehicles up 30 quid. And before you know it, everything's jumped up £10, £15 a year.
Well, that's my whole point.
Because people keep buying these HasLabs. People are willing to back them.
I mentioned to you yesterday, Simon, you said it to me months ago and I laughed in your face, basically, but you're exactly right. You said the minute that everyone keeps buying these HasLabs and spending this type of money, watch the effect of the figures going up in price. And like I told you, I went into GameStop and the new Anakin in a Black Series, just a standard Black Series figure, is $31.99. And now you're buying Spider-Man's at $50, $60.
My point is this, and I'm not blowing smoke up his arse, but once we had Delvian Seeker on a stream, and he was showing us how his shelves are set up and all the dioramas that lad had sat there and painted and made himself. And they were fucking mind-blowing, every single one of them. Now, this is Delvian on his own, sat in his room, making these. If Delvian's been given a multi-billion-dollar company and all the tools in the world to make these dioramas, can you imagine what he would come out with for 500 quid at HasLab? My point is that what they give you is absolutely shocking for the money that you're paying. We're not stupid, you know what I mean? But you have a desire of things that you love to collect, and we get swung a lot that way around because of it. But sometimes you've got to be realistic, haven't you?
Keith Knight says it's a bit like an internet date. In the photo, they look like Marilyn Monroe, but in person, they look like
I would like to know how he knows that, especially with cat watching as well. But anyway, what was I going to say is, it's just side on a head that I would think. It's like I like it's football tickets. Every time I've gone, every year the tickets have got more and more money, and going to a football game is, trust me, is very expensive. But people keep paying it, So they're not going to reduce the prices.
No.
They're just going to keep putting them up or keep them at least the same level. That's just normal business. They're not going to reduce it if people are still going to go and watch it and pay for it.
That's true.
Yeah,
we piss them on, but we go. Yeah, exactly
the
right.
thing is with that, Adam, if you don't renew your football ticket, they don't turn around and say, well, you know, if you don't renew your ticket, the club's going to fold. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what's been sort of said with the
No, but you will never get it
back. It could affect the rest of TVC.
And they have said that too. They have said that. So,
but you will never get another with a lot of the most teams in the Premiership. I'd say, or most top teams in the Premiership. If you don't renew your season ticket, you will never get one again because there's a 20-25 year waiting list. So it's almost just like you will never get one again. So there is that.
Yeah, you won't get one again. But the club won't fold.
I'm
you
locked
won't
in
get one again, but the club won't fold.
No, well, probably unlikely to. Very
Well, there
unlikely.
you are. But this is what we've been said. This is what's been said about this particular HasLab. If it doesn't fund, the consequences going
I've
forward.
not heard that. I've
TVC,
heard they might not make up. They might not make other things. I don't think they've said the company will fold. Surely,
no, they didn't say it's going to fold, but I mean, it will affect the TVC line.
Yeah,
but why not
that's
this
right,
company? Does that come across as like a threat, though?
Yeah.
Why does that come across? Like, oh, if you don't back it, oh, that's it.
But we all thought, but yeah, but it's Simon. It's a threat that works, kid. It's a threat that works. That FOMO is so big in what we all do, us and the chat. We're scared to death of missing out. We're scared to death of doing it. It's like what Des said. I'll wait and wait, and I'll back it. Do you see what I mean? So even he's like, hang on a minute. I did a mistake there, you know?
So when I first started collecting and got involved with you guys, I did suffer from FOMO quite a bit.
Yeah, you do, Stu. Yeah.
But then after a while, you suddenly realise, hang on a minute. It's like all the pre-orders, they all come in at the same time. So at one particular time of the month, you're getting absolutely hammered for paying out and stuff because
I don't pre-order anything anymore. The only thing I do is the Masters, the Mattel Creations, because I have to for that. So
the only way you could get it was through pre-order. So then you pre-order it, and then a few months later, you're sitting at clearance in a store or online. You think, what the? I've just
everybody knows that story for me. Go to Target with GeForce and Scuba. There's the Muddy Deluxe version of Mandalorian, right? So it's all the same Mandalorian I've got, same mold, same figure, covered in mud. So I get it. With tax, it was over $40, and it was the first time, and I've collected forever that I was pissed off. And GeForce was laughing these bollocks up. But even GeForce was saying, "You Shabby, if you don't get it, we're never going to find it again." But I think the whole pandemic situation and how we were doing it and how big the scalpers were, we all learned exactly what you just said, Stu. I'll wait till it goes up. Now I see it. We were GeForce, and it was in there for $18. I was like, "What the?" You know what I mean? So. I've changed the way I collect because I think we've noticed that when it comes to standard figures, but there are figures like that Spider-Man 77 that you've got, and you know that just sell out completely, and people go mad. Do you know what I mean? They spend a fortune. It's weird.
I remember years ago going to the NEC to memorabilia. What was MCM previously. This is like about 98, 99.
Yeah.
And Muff-Tack and Cabe had just come out. Power of the Force. It was an internet exclusive. And I see it on one of the first stalls, 15 quid. Great, I'm having that. Great, I've got it. Like you say, that fear of missing out, I've got it.
Yeah, it was a mail away one, wasn't it? It was the same as the Eula was. I've got them both. I kept them once. So yeah, sorry, Des, carry on.
Next stall, 13 quid. Oh, bugger. If I'd have carried on going into the middle of the 7 quid, I could have got it for. But I was happy to pay the 15. You know what I mean?
You got it.
Straight. Yeah. I know you're only talking 7 quid. You know.
But you make a good sense if you're happy to pay that. This is why when we were talking about the HasLabs, me and Si made a point. It's not about the buyer. It's not, because I've noticed as well when you talk about stuff like that, and if you have a different opinion, people get on the defense. Oh no, we're not talking about people buying it. We're talking about the actual thing. So you are right. People only buy stuff if you think it's worth it. But when it comes to things like Star Wars, or in my case, Masters, whether you agree with the price or not, it's like you have to buy it because you collect everything from it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it doesn't matter if they put it up to 600.
Yeah, I think completists have a lot more of a harder time than people that collect, in a sense. Yeah. I'm not a completist. I'm not. If there's a wave of 5 and I like 3 of them, I'm only buying them 3. If they go down in the future and I get them at a great price, that's great. But I'm not a completist that way round. I don't worry that I haven't got this certain Marvel legend or that certain multiverse or anything like that. But I've noticed with the TVC, there is a lot more of this completist thing, isn't there? That it is important to get that wave, you know, it's a fear of missing out on one of them.
Yeah.
Because I do believe as well, the way that goes, you don't know which one's going to be like $100 in 3 months, do you? Or
it's just that one word, exclusive.
Yeah.
You know, and I've missed out on, do I get that? Do I get that? And you think, well, I'll go for that one. And then that one down the line is like say on clearance, and the one you could have got and you missed out on just skyrockets.
These toy companies know exactly what they are doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know they've got us by the short and curlies. They're not stupid. It's not kids that aim in these items at. It is the grown adult collectors, and
with disposable income.
I would just though, for me, I would just be like, but then that's surely the fault of the collector, isn't it? At the end of the day, if you know what they're doing to you, if you knew you walked down a certain street and you'd get punched in the face, you wouldn't keep walking down the same street, would you? You'd be a right dickhead. Like, you know what I mean? So like, you know, and like, so I just think, and going back to your point about I've got to say this toy fair, because it's really interesting. You said you saw a figure cheaper. On the flip side, I've had this where I've gone into toy fair and I've seen a figure, not brought it because I thought I'll find it cheaper, and then I've not found it cheaper and it's sold. So I've not been able to get it. So I've been like, oh, damn it. Like,
which is why I was happy to pay that 15 quid on the first stall. Oh, I ain't going to see this again. I'll get it now.
Yeah.
And then,
that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And maybe that's how we do it with these certain figures like that Jules and Vader. Like, if it wasn't for DCM buying that at the toy fair, I'd have never thought that figure existed.
I've never seen it.
You do that with certain figures because that's what makes you think about the other figures. Well, if I don't get that one, that might go the same way, and that one might, and that one might.
Exactly right.
You
like,
never
said that
know
before.
what's going to pick up, really, do you? You don't really know what's going to take the flavour and.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing though, because I guess that's what because I don't buy thinking something might go up in value, like I don't really care, like, you know, and if it does, it's a result. So do you think there's people out there? Well, there is obviously people out there who buy to make a quick buck, like they use it as an investment or something like that, but. Would you?
Well, I think there are, but I think what it is to me, this is, if I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say I'm wrong. But I think the one HasLab that's hold its value and then some is the barge. I don't think the rest of them, you know, and I don't know whether people were buying these things and buying a couple of them, thinking it was going to go the power of the force way, if you will, thinking, they were going to make an absolute fortune off this and so forth, you know.
But I mean, there's only 8,000, just over 8,000 barges built.
Yeah,
maybe a few more than that. So the numbers aren't as big as, say, like something like the Razor Crest, which was over, I think, 28,000.
Yeah, the Rattler that you showed on Wednesday, that's over 27,000. So yeah.
So
George Aiken's got half of them.
yeah. But and that's why the barge is holding its value, because there's that much. There's not many of them about.
No, same as my attorney behind me. There was only 9,000 of them made. That was it. Didn't get the full tiers. So the price is shot up because of that. Hoppy says here, I think Stu said it before, they should have the drop ship has a basic with only the 2 pilots. That's the thing. Do you think if they would have put this at 250, I think they get a lot? I don't think we're having this conversation.
250 all day long, that thing is about.
Yeah, I would have backed 2. Even if honestly, I would have done. But even if they'd have done 350, which is the same price as the Razor Crest, I think it would have been backed already. I can guarantee you.
So what makes this one so much money? If you can get a Razor Crest for 350, and the Rattler is obviously cheaper,
they say inflation, don't they? I was inflation.
Inflation within 2 years. That's crazy.
It gets me as well. I don't know what with all the price conversions, how it's 450 here, 450 in the States.
That's always annoyed me.
That, you know, I just don't get. I'll get the shipping costs can be different. I'll get all of that.
Jesse. Yeah.
I'm sure
I think they sneakily put that shipping cost in. That's why we're paying, if you look at it, over 100 quid more for it than what they are in the States, because I think they do add the shipping to that for the UK.
Yeah. That's one of the things I was shocked about the snake layer, though, because on the Eternity it was $50, and this is a big box, but the snake layer altogether was $300, only $8 for shipping, and a couple of quid. Obviously, it depends what state you live in, so I can't really say state for everybody because it's all different. So mine was $329 all in, which I thought that's not actually, because I was expecting, to be honest, Stu, $50 shipping at least, but it wasn't. They kept the shipping the same way. Let's have a look. Adam's analogy of being punched in the face time and time again just makes me think of being a West. Prices are going up again before the end of the year too, GeForce. Yeah, they are. It's getting crazy. But this is what we were saying yesterday, wasn't it? There's no difference, I don't think, between vintage and bonded ending up, but besides the age, the prices are more or less the same on each one of them.
Yeah.
I am fully aware, though. I'm not as invested as, say, Des and Stuart here, because I to a degree couldn't care less about modern Star Wars in some respects. So like, and that's not me being
no, it's not what you're into. It makes
it's not what I'm
sense.
into. Yeah. So for example, I do appreciate Stuart and Des are going to have a more emotional attachment to something when it comes through that I am not. So for me, it's just like whatever. It's not got a bit of wash on it. Who cares?
Like, I'll be honest with you, Adam, that interest and is starting to wane, especially from my point of view. It is starting to wane because I'm starting to think, do you know what? I don't want to keep spending 400, 500 quid every year on a HasLab project. We shouldn't have to do that.
No.
I mean, no one's putting a gun to your head saying, "Oh, you must buy this." Yeah. So obviously, like I say, you can make your own mind up. But I think I've said it before. HasLabs should be a once in a while.
I agree.
Thing.
But the thing is we're very rare as well, Stu.
Sandcrawler. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Was that?
Well, I was going to say, me and you don't just collect Star Wars. We collect loads of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I've got a big Ghostbusters section. I'd love the Proton Pack, and I love the Snowcat, and I love the thing. I mean, and the thing is, one of the things that makes me think about it is the fact that you've got this HasLab lot now, plus you've just finished the Snowcat. You haven't even got the Cantina yet.
I know.
So I agree with what you're saying. Do you think there's just too many lads through the year with all this stuff?
There is, because you've got Transformers, like you say, you've got Ghostbusters, you've got G.I. Joe, you've got Star Wars. If it was every few years, I wouldn't hesitate to spend 600-700, maybe 800 quid on a well, George might think differently, on a TVC Sandcrawler or a shuttle.
Yeah, or
and I don't disagree with you there. I think for like a lot of things, you can have too much of a good thing, and I do think it is too frequent. I think I said this to Stuart privately or to maybe in the group. It reminds me a bit of go back 10 years ago. We used to get X Factor every year, and everybody was just like, I had enough of it after about 3 years. It's just like, Simon Cowell seems to be taking over the TV. But if they had done that every 2-3 years, people would have loved it because there would have been a bit more of a build-up. People would have been a bit more involved.
Even if you always keep them wanting more.
Yeah. But the thing is, when it's every year, it then becomes the norm. And then people just get bored and they check out and they think, do you know what?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I agree with that. I tell you what, I want to thank you all. I've loved this. This has been a brilliant conversation. Thank you.
Not a technical hitch in sight.
No, you see, Des, you come on with your jacket on, fix it for me and our side. Si, put it on my tab. How much we owe Des? Put it on my tab. All right, Si, add it on to all the money. Add it on to how much do you charge? Des? About 200 quid, something like that.
That's a minute for Des. 200 quid a minute.
That's it.
I want to move. Don't pay for themselves.
I want to move Simon over to me because, as we all know, our side does some artwork and drawing, whatever. But he's just done a few this week, and I honestly, Si, it's going to sound biased because I'm your brother, but I think what you showed me a little picture of you have blown me away. This I mean, I can't believe this. So if I'm going to make you big a bit, Si, just show the lads what you've got here.
Well, I've gone a bit Palpatine this week. I've noticed as well he's gone a bit Catwoman. And Des T, he'll know because he's got Catwoman behind him. But I've done a newer version of that Catwoman, if you'll have me. Wait
to see this, lads. Well, pisses me right off.
The first one I did, this is the absolute Catwoman. This is the brand new Catwoman that's out today. So I drew the absolute Catwoman, which is...
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
nice.
I just don't know how. Like, I've never got how artists draw so well. It just blows my mind. Because
they're very talented, Adam.
Yeah, but I don't get it. I don't know how they do it. Stickman's my best.
I agree with you, mate. I won't mind. We're in the same womb, me and him, and I can't draw for toffee.
I've got to say, I absolutely love that new Catwoman mask. I absolutely
that is stunning. Wow.
I was going to say, Shabby,
going forward with DC, they're going to get some great reflections in that, like Batman and Gotham City and all sorts. So I love that mask going forward.
Yeah,
beautiful.
But yeah,
that's what you're going to say, pal.
I'm going to say, Shabby, you've seen the film Twins, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's solid Danny, and are you Danny DeVito?
Luckily, the good Lord gave me the gift of dance, which I can't do, so I'm all right with that. So. Yeah, I love the reflection. It says, Connor, amazing. Yeah, stunning. Yeah, Kevin Bolt boobs.
The next one I did was I drew one for. I gave a lot of people the prints of it last year. Well, it was this year, wasn't it? The Toy Fair, start of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I've gone and done a new version, which is
look at that.
Flipping heck!
How the France do you do that, man? This is your last time on the stream site. It's pissing me off. This. Do you know what I mean?
That is incredible. Si, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We go to these toy conventions. We go to these places that do all sorts of art. I mean, you've walked around yourself and you've seen all the different stalls that do art and stuff like that and sell their art. Would you ever consider doing something like that, going to like a convention and showcasing your artwork and selling your artwork at some place like MCM or something like that?
To be fair, it's not something I've ever thought about. My business was always going into, first of all, graffiti work, and then it just eventually evolved into making t-shirts, putting my work, because my work can be quite expensive sometimes, and I think for the sake of everybody having something and having something exclusive, that's why I'm going to stick with this business.
Yeah,
I'm one lazy bastard. I really am. I can't say any lies. I need a bomb up my arse to shift me for anything. I really do. I smoke weed a lot. I draw a lot. I'm not the first to shift me fat arse. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? So I tend to get things 100% right before I go ahead and do them. When all these t-shirts come out, there are only going to be 100 ever printed of each one, and I want them to be exclusive to people. I want it to be like 8 years later, Stu, that's still your best t-shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of research is going to go into them. They will be launched this year. I can definitely say that. It will at some point this year be launched. I'll launch it on the Shabby Geek channel. But as far as cons and that, I think that once I've got a few t-shirts here and stuff, and I've got a bundle of here over the few months, I probably will go to a con and sit there and do some artwork while my t-shirts sell. Do you know what I mean? A few behind the website. So I probably will.
Even if it's, I mean, I've not been to the Blackpool one. I want to get up there, but even it's like a smaller one, like the Blackpool one. Could you sort of do something like that? Obviously, it's local to you, so there's no sort of costs to get there and stay over.
Blackpool Comic Con's a load of shit for a start. It really is poor. And
you're selling it well.
The Toy Fair's been great, but it's things like that. I'm not loud. Do you know what I mean? I like underground. I like people to find me. I don't like it to be the other way round. I'm not one of them that likes to blow smoke up my own arse and my work's everywhere and blah blah blah. And you've got more chance of counterfeit for that happening. I've got more chance of seeing other people producing t-shirts with my work on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I've also like underground labels. I've also liked the way that it's a bit like Supreme is today and how Stussy was back in the day. You've got to find this stuff. Do you know what I mean? And once you do, you feel a bit special because there's only 99 people worldly with that t-shirt. That's it.
I'm the complete opposite, man. And everyone should love me. I'm fucking awesome. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, what to stop counterfeit? To stop counterfeit, so what you need is a holographic Shabby stamp of approval.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On the back of it.
Yeah.
Don't decrease the price, surely.
That's it. You're gonna buy one there.
What do you mean?
Well, there was going on about the t-shirts. There's nothing being an exclusive. There was nothing worse than going into town on a Saturday back in the day, getting a new shirt, thinking you're the bee's knees, going out on the town. I'm the daddy tonight, and then also you walk in the pub and there's 4 or 5 other people wearing the same top. Oh, you just want to creep out.
I used to be an idiot back then. I used to spend a fortune on Armani shirt, right? So I'd get paid. I'd work at either Pizza or Next. I did both. I'd work at Next through the day, and then this is just after school when I was 16, 17. And then I'd work at Pizza, and then I'd get my wages, and I'd spend it all on an Armani shirt. Then I'd go to Oz nightclub on a Friday, with about a tenner because I spent all the money on a shirt. It's so stupid. His Lord said, fantastic Catwoman. Wear the Francis, my gingham dress, wearing Shabby feather one. Oh, absolutely. Just show that Michelle Pfeiffer one again, Si. Just show it again. I love it. I can't believe you could. It's amazing. That is amazing.
The offer sale. If anybody's interested, I'll give you a good price. The offer sale.
£7.50, Si.
I think a little bit more than that.
Is the 5'4" figure going to be wearing a Catwoman suit?
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Can I ask you a question? Where, because I'm not an artist, where do you start when you look like that? And how do you start with the eyes, or do you have a certain place? I
start with my head shape. You always start with your head shape, and then you fill in your face eyes first. For me, if any drawing, especially shading and inking, it's my eyes are always last. It's the last thing I do. Because especially when it comes to portraits, the life in a portrait and makes people different from other people is the look in your eyes. So if you don't get them eyes right, do you know what I mean? Let's be fair, you can tell people 10 out of 10 by their eyes and you can the mouth. And you've got to get the eyes right. So for me, the eyes are always the last thing I work on. Always. Yeah. So once my eyes are right, let's be fair, head shape and all that, it's mostly right.
Smithville said, I've mentioned Stoll to Si before. His actual response is, he couldn't be asked. And Delphi says, sort your t-shirts out, you lazy bastard.
I will do eventually. Like I said, you'll all be the first to know. But what you've also got to remember is I say 100 t-shirts, but your size is only going to be 20 of them. So if you're an extra large and you don't get 20 of the t-shirts I produce, you're not going to get one in extra large. You might get something quite similar on the t-shirt, but it won't be that one. That's why they're exclusive.
Well, Stews have bad written on. Oh, well, the way did you see that last week when we had Martin on, right? So I'm in Food Lion, right, in the morning, and I'm in Food Lion and I'm getting some, milk or whatever, and they've got Michael Jackson's Bad playing, and I haven't heard that song for years, and it just dawned on me. Oh my God. So I race home, I get a picture of Michael Jackson's Bad, send it to Si, I said, Si, just put Stu's head on this, right? And did you see it, Stu? Have you seen it? I'll show you here. Right. So basically, it was here. So this is it.
He gets crucified, doesn't it?
I mean, to be fair, I do look darker than Michael Jackson, so
But the funniest thing was, so I was waiting for you to come in to say hello, like we do on Tub Thumper, so I can, like Des and Adams and so forth. I mean, Martin comes on, we're asking him these 10 questions. Si goes, "What's your favorite music?" He goes, "I'm not really into music." And we were like, "Oh, all right." He goes, "Yeah." And I said to him, "Yeah, but if you had to sing a song, what would you sing?" And he goes, I'd probably do Michael Jackson's Bad." Oh my God, it was like a gift from the gods, right? So I went, "Did you just say Michael Jackson's Bad?" And he went, "Yeah," and I played that. Honestly, it was the best segue ever. I thought we're never going to get away with people thinking we haven't done this on purpose, but we hadn't. So it was so anyway, you got your own meme.
That's awesome. Funny enough, I wore that shirt today when I went to London and was walking back, and these kids, they're early teens. They rode past on their bikes, and one of them turned back and said, "Oh, nice shirt, mate, nice shirt." I said, "Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy you said that. Thank you. It's very kind of you." And the other one said, "Yeah, you're a bad man, aren't you? Bad man in London." I said, "Yeah, I am. I'm the baddest man in London." He goes, "Second to me." And I said, "All right then." And he just rode off.
Yeah. And then you woke up. And then you woke up.
And he woke up.
No, honestly, that's what they said. That's what they said. I'm the baddest man in London. I said, "Yeah, right." They know
so when do you think your t-shirts are coming, Si? When do you think?
Because I know you. I can say one thing almost definitely. They will be 100% be launched before Christmas. I can say that 100%. And even though we like to say that, they won't be for everybody. There'll be some t-shirts you look at and you'll say, "It's not for me." That there will be. But there'll also be one that will be definitely for you. Because I'm like you lot. I know what we all like. Do you know what I mean? And one point in time, there'll be one that you think, "I've got to get that t-shirt." There will be. But I don't expect you to buy everything and everyone.
Asking for somebody, are they available in pink?
No, fortunately not.
Why are we buying one then? No, I'm joking.
Brilliant.
The funny thing was, you laugh about this. Was it Nicky at Retro Bungers just put up some merch, and he didn't have pink on there? And I said to him, "If you do a pink one, I'll buy it." He goes, "Well, there is in the women's section." I was like, "Well, all right, then I'll buy it. And he was like, I won't fit you properly. I was like, right, we'll do a men's one in pink. And I've said to him, until he puts a pink one out, I'm not going to buy it.
You never know.
If you ever went to Comic Con and sold some of your artworks, you will be able to buy your sex doll soon.
I think he means action figure.
Oh,
I think that's what he means.
Stu shirts will have a barcode on them.
Yeah, bloody barcodes.
Bloody charming. It's like Shabby, do the shirt. I'll get around to posting these boxes. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll definitely get around to doing it. Stu's shirt has a QR code on which takes you to a website that's just a picture of Stu licking. Side needs to join Django Fett's fire spray. He's loving that fire spray.
He likes his fire spray, doesn't he, old Popes?
Yeah, stick it on a t-shirt and buy one. Has anyone got anything coming up? I'm glad. So we've had no glitches tonight. Then I think it's worked.
Yeah, it seems to be bang.
Yeah, none of the chat have said anything, and Claire's not been down. Yes, sir.
What I'm going to say to you, Mrs. T said about it earlier. It's like you've got no family there eating up any of your internet either. That's not a thing, is it?
Well, they're usually not on either. I've got to admit, my kids are really sound for that. They know I only do it really a live stream for me two times a week on a Wednesday and on a Monday. ZSR I'll do every other third week. Do you see what I mean? So they are pretty cool for that. I just don't know what it was, Des. We just went through this glitch, me and Sign. Stu, you can back me up here. It knocks you, done it, when things like that happen.
Oh yeah,
when you want to roll arcade and then something happens. You can never get back to it, can you? Do you think that way, Stu?
Oh yeah. It can be quite disheartening, can't it?
It is disheartening,
sometimes.
Especially when.
And I'll tell you what is disheartening. I found it very interesting that you said that to that is 6 inches. George has always told me that is 6 inches. That's why I've been up like that.
Well, but that reminded me of something. If you put your thumb next to your finger, right, that distance there is the same as your nose.
It ain't for me. Not
just try it. Put your thumb next to your finger there, and it's the same distance.
I am blown away by that. That is
Shazam. Oh, brilliant.
Isn't there something about the distance between your elbow and your wrist is the same size as your feet as well?
No, is it your feet or your shin? I thought it was your shin.
No, it's your sole. Between your elbow and your wrist, it's the same size as your sole on your foot. Exactly the same.
I have size 19 feet then. You know?
It's impossible, Shabby. It's impossible to lick your elbow. Impossible.
Yeah. If that's true, I've got size 7 feet and I'm 6'2".
Yeah, you do try it tonight before you get in bed, Des. Put your soul on your arm. You'll go.
Imagine it.
Next week, me and Si have got the lovely Georgie on, which I'm so happy to have her on again. She, I think Tub Thumpers went down a treat, didn't it? So it'd be great to have her on. Then obviously ZSR's on my channel this Friday, and then we end in Tub Thumpers with Red 5 Designs. Good old Greg and Gianni are going to come on and do the end of it. Do you have anything coming up, Stu?
No.
Adam, I saw you on Toy Overdose, Adam. You were great on it, man. That was a great
I've got quite
video.
a few things coming up all in the pipeline. It's a bit of I've got another 2 videos with Lewis. So we've got one at Retro Hunter, and then we've got one. He done a tour of my toy room, so that's nice. Coming up.
Awesome.
And then I've got. Can we say this, Shabby? 1st of September.
You go ahead.
1st of September. Me, Jesse, Epic Badger are doing a stream with Shabby on Micro Machines.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, when you were both on talking about it, and I'm honestly, I don't blow smoke. Me and Si from. I loved it. I was so interested in investing. I thought, wow, this is, and it's all because your passion and both of you comes across. So I love that, don't you, lads? When you see one like Connor opening that thing on Wednesday, you see the passion and you get influenced by it, don't you? Get invested. So I can't wait for that. Yeah. And then obviously a couple of days we'll be doing Keith's Playmobil. What about you, Des? You got coming up? Are you going anywhere? Doing anything? Des, you haven't been on holiday as much this time. There used to be a time you were never at home. Do you know what I mean? You'd always make that joke, won't we, on ZSR? Where's Des? Always, I don't know where he is. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we had a big wedding to pay for this year, so.
Oh, that's right. And
another wedding next year. Birthday on Friday, and then next weekend it's Greenbelt, which is a festival of music and food, and that's where I work. So I've got free tickets for that.
And, brilliant! It must have been Si's magic tricks. Brilliant. I'll just get to another thing. And thank you all, honestly, for helping me and Si out.
Thank you, Shabby.
Especially on a Saturday to take time out to spend it with me and Si. Honestly, I really appreciate it. And I've loved it. It's been great. I really enjoyed your opinions. Nephew has the only clear on the course so far. Kid is a stallion. I don't know what that is.
Can I just say, Shabby, I kind of lied. I do have something coming up. Next Friday, I've got my tattoo. For Give Kids the World. So that is next Friday.
All right. So how's this working then? Tell us. So you're getting it. Where you're placing it in your thigh one? You were saying
on the top of the leg. On the top of the leg.
Top of the leg. How big are you getting it, pal?
It's probably going to be about 4 or 5 inches. So it's not going to be small.
It's not going to be a small hand size, basically. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I want it to be. Yeah. So I've got the design. She's done that, and I've paid the deposit. And so next Friday I'm going into to get it done.
You're going to film it and then.
George is going to film
show a video of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll be next Friday.
The thing is about we're all going to take the piss, so you know that's coming. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
But, yeah.
I think it's a good thing, mate. Listen, what you've done in them 3 years in that charity is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And I'm not being facetious here, but for a channel...
It's what we've done as a community.
But still, for a channel, really, that's growing like yours is, that isn't the biggest channel on here, to raise almost £20,000 for that charity over the times you've been doing it is every credit to you. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a good thing. That tattoo will say every time what you've done for them. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a great thing. I really do.
There we go. I can't make my bliming foot touch my arm. Nearly fell out. George, you're going to move like that. You know what I mean? Just trying to work it out. Happy birthday, Win. Yeah, happy birthday, Win. Stu's got his pony tattoo video coming up. Yeah.
Yes, I will say one thing though. After the Grade 5 designs on the Wednesday, I've got a stream that I'm doing with Shabby Geek, and it's called Fancasting. Yeah. And it's about all the things that we love in movies. But if those actors weren't in them roles and didn't exist, who would you replace in them roles? And it's going to be an open link. If anybody wants to come on and talk about it, or anybody wants to come on first beginning, it's just about. It's like for me, if I didn't have Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon, which is probably my favorite ever film outside of Raiders, who would be my Bruce Lee? Who would have been my Mr. Roper? It's just the sake of fan casting. So who would you be? Han Solo? Who would be Indiana Jones? Who would be your Flash Gordon? You know, it's just. So if any of you want to fancy on coming on doing that, it's going to be a week on Wednesday. Again, just a good laugh, just talking about different fan castings we'd like to see.
Yeah. That'd be quite interesting because you can normally find out who else auditioned for them roles. So it'd be interesting to know whether any of them would you'd have thought they'd have worked or not, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think when we all saw Tom Selleck in that Indiana Jones clip, I think we all went, Tom Selleck would have been made as Indiana Jones, didn't we?
That's the only thing G-Force is thinking about.
So what I'm going to have, G-Force, is I'm going to have it facing away, and I'm going to have my junk as the tail. So it's going to be a pretty big tail. That's all I can say.
And one of the comments of the night is 20 grand for a charity. And I'm so. You know what? That was years ago, and it still.
That was the first one, wasn't it? That was the first one.
Still makes me laugh my bollocks off. That was one of the funny. I nearly felt. I mean, I've never known my chest to hurt that much. I've never known any. And I think I'm funny, but that was the funniest thing ever. Did a YouTube bot tell you that you won it, Chris? So I can relate. Oh, you might be real sure. Absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you all very much. I'll let everyone go. Cool. Win. Have a nice birthday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everyone. And we'll see you all on Wednesday. So we'll see you Wednesday. All right. Good night, everybody.
Cheerio.